set up the big giant balloon, set up the tents and all that stuff. People would come to the tailgate, which I don't really think we had anything to offer. Then when the game started, I had to break down the tailgate, go to the radio station, unload everything into the thing. And then later on that night, I had to go to Mako's in Seminole. So I would just try to sleep in an office. There were times where I'd be out at Mako's on a Friday, go back to the Power Pig. That balloon that I would set up was so comfortable. You'd sleep on the balloon in a closet. And then Joe Mama Johnson would come, let's go 6 o'clock the next morning. And we'd be out at a public somewhere set up. I mean, for free. I got no money for it. And it wasn't just me, it was a bunch of guys. No money, but the experience that you get was unmatched because I used to hate Joe Mama for a while because I worked for him and he was so mean. But then after a while, when I kind of matured a little bit, I was like, I'm like him. I could do every part of this job now. I could set up balloons. I could run the board. I could do every aspect of this building because of what they made us do. And no school is going to teach you that.
And no school is going to teach you how to be named Joe Mama or Egg Roll.
Excuse me. It's Joe Mama Johnson.
Oh,
Joe Mama and Egg Roll. They called Egg Roll because he was a little bit Asian.
Oh.
Egg Roll.
Oh, that's
yeah. Egg Roll rolled the Power Pig van because he fell asleep.
Oh,
now listen to this. This is so long ago. I could talk about this.
Should have called him Van Roll.
Egg Roll rolled the Power Pig van and immediately called the Joe Mama because he was like the head of the interns. And then Joe Mama had to call BJ, and BJ had to come out at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and they had to go do this thing. But now everybody's in crisis mode because Egg Roll doesn't work for the radio station. Is he even covered by the insurance? Like, how does it all work?
Yeah.
Now is Egg Roll going to sue the radio station? So it became, we brought Egg Roll to the hospital. They paid Egg Roll's medical bill. Like, yeah. I mean, like, it becomes a, hey, it was the time where you can go, can we do this? You know what I mean? Give Egg Roll's family some money and see what happens.
One of the greatest things with the van was I was doing a remote, and the guy that was setting it up and stuff, we had just got the van here at the Bone wrapped, and it was when we were classic rock, and it had flames on it because that's cool. In the skull and all this stuff, and just a brand new wrap. Like, this was the first event that was happening with the new van. The kid pulls the van up and he's doing the tent and stuff, and then he puts the tent up and it goes up against the van and just goes and just rips it in half, and he goes, oh my God. And I go, I'm sure they won't notice. Meanwhile, it's like an 8-inch rip. Yeah. It was that dude with the black curly hair and the kind of bad skin.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
I forget what his name was.
We call him a bad skin guy.
Yeah, but I was just like, oh,
those wraps aren't cheap either.
No.
Especially an entire van.
And it was brand new.
Yeah.
First day, first thing, just right up the side of it. Big scar.
Yeah.
It's the other thing that you don't know, Dizzy. I don't think you've ever had to do this. Gio, you probably did, was put the Marty antenna out.
Oh yeah.
So if you're doing a live broadcast, you'll see these radio vans and they had this giant antenna, and you'd hit the button and it would go all the way up. I mean, all the way up. And you actually had to park in a place that there were no power lines to make sure you didn't hit the power lines.
We didn't even have the electronic one. You had to push it up.
Oh,
manually.
really?
Yeah, you had to push it up manually. Like, not everybody had
Put the
electric ones.
bolt in so it doesn't fall down.
It would be outside, and you'd park the van tire on the base, and then like,
oh my God.
and
I
put
didn't
it
think
up.
about
Yeah.
that. Well, a lot of times guys would get back in and forget to take the Marty mast down, and they'd be driving and you feel the whole van shaking like a boat because you're like, what's going on? And then some people hit wires, some people hit overpasses, and all that stuff. The whole thing rips off the van.
So
yeah, I don't know how they let us use much, but the guys that I started out with, Jay works in California. He works in TV, and he's done this for like the last 25 years. Brian Fink, is like the main guy over at FLZ, like when it comes to production and all that stuff. All the guys that really put in the time and the work to be there went on to have good jobs and know probably more than most people. I don't know what it was like for you, but I was in Miami and I took a radio class. I was so happy to look at a catalog and see that there were communications classes, intro to radio and all that stuff. And I'd already worked at the Power Pig for a little while. So when I went to the radio, the first thing they wanted us to do was talk in the microphone and get our voice on a cassette tape. And I went, you gotta be kidding me. I've been doing this since I was 4. Who doesn't know how to put their voice on a cassette tape? And then the best part was the room that they made the radio station in, one of the walls was the back wall to the elevator. So in the middle of doing anything, this is I dropped the radio class. I was like, this is the worst thing. Anyway, we're here now. Joe's here.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
All right.
What happened, Joe?
I have no idea. I was looking at my phone. I looked up and we're parked on Hillsborough. And
Parked on Hillsborough?
Yeah. I'm like, where are you going? He's like, oh, well, this app is kind of messed up. We were on the Veterans. He exited off the Veterans.
Oh, he got off on Hillsborough?
Yeah.
That's like 5 exits away.
I know. I'm like, what are you doing?
I love that Joe was looking at his phone. No, you weren't.
I was.
You were snoozing.
Well, maybe I was snoozing. a little
Yeah,
bit.
because who doesn't know? I mean, and you said that he missed the exit. I'm like, we got 3 exits.
I
Yeah,
know.
missing, you go to the next one.
No, he missed he missed that exit. He
I'm not
got-
buying it. I think
It's
Joe
true.
did. No, when did you order the Uber?
But also, here's the thing:
It's just not.
Of
is
course.
why is it always this guy?
Right.
Like all
Been in like dozens of Ubers. Have you ever had a
I've
problem?
never had a problem with it.
Because he's the one guy who actually has to get here early to set the cameras up.
Yeah,
And it
like-
doesn't do it.
You know,
I've
It's
never
wild.
had an Uber, take a turn 20 miles away from where I'm supposed to go.
This app is
Yeah.
messed up.
Not only that,
It's like
Blame the
close.
app.
not only that, but you're on the Veterans. It's not going to go hard right. It's
Yeah.
to tell you, But-
Try to go left on Hillsborough off the Veterans. I don't have any idea where he was going.
I don't buy it. I think you're
buy
making this up.
That's-
No way.
I don't care what you think.
I'm gonna need to call your Uber driver.
You can.
Yeah, when
His
did
name
you,
was Michael.
Oh, blame me.
you
I'm
were
like,
late.
where are you going, Michael?
You called the Uber late and you look down. You're like, oh man, it says I'm gonna get there at 6:15.
No.
And
Not true.
2 days in a row in 2 different cities, I got in an accident in my Uber. One time, I was in New York, and the guy I was driving with hit the guy in front of him. And then the next day, I was in New Orleans with Pete, and another Uber smashed our Uber from behind. The guy goes, "This never happens." I go, "No, it does. It happens a lot. It happened to me yesterday. I don't know what to tell you."
I thought you were going to say 2 days in a row. Joe's been late. And he's been on Uber.
it's also true.
That's
Yeah.
What are you doing, man?
This guy's driving slow. This guy's taking exit.
I got canceled yesterday.
And
It's not a good look, Joe. Not a good look.
Oh, yeah.
oh, I know what the problem was.
Hmm.
Were you a Ricky Smiley?
What?
Were you a Ricky Smiley last night?
What's Ricky Smiley?
Oh.
He doesn't even know. I
don't even know what that is.
no idea.
If I
Funniest
said
man
to
in
you,
Tampa.
if I said to you, what's if I said to you, what's Ricky Smiley? What would you honestly say?
An artist of some rap guy.
Yes.
It
Nailed
is?
it. No.
Mm.
But that's good that you don't know.
I don't.
Mo, however, is dead to me.
Oh.
Dead to me.
Listen to me. He shows you one shirtless pic. You're back in.
Yeah.
See, he has a good body.
Dude, Mo's older than I am. Look, he's in great shape.
Oh, okay, for his age.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
Like an asterisk on that.
I mean, compared to you, he's in great shape.
I don't like that. I like that no one laughed with
Yeah.
that.
I saw a picture of Dizzy from a long time ago last night, and he was like a skinny little baby kid. And now he looks like that little groundhog from Caddyshack.
Oh.
For the record, I did send him a baby photo. So it wasn't me.
that was a real baby photo.
You weighed less when you were a baby. Is that what you're trying
It's controlled feeding.
Yeah.
Dizzy, how old are you?
35.
Oh,
Old enough I have to
really?
think about it. You ever get
Yeah.
to that age where you have to do the math?
Yes.
Oh, I'm at the age where I can't do math.
35.
Yeah, that's
Up
pretty.
there.
It's right. It's
I would have guessed 25.
Thank
Twen-
you, man.
Yeah, you do. You definitely look a lot younger.
I mean,
Not because I'm short, right? Just got the baby.
No,
face.
you got
No.
a baby face.
I just thought 35 you should be way more successful.
Yeah, and responsible.
You, Dizzy, you make short work for you.
Yeah, I guess.
Like some guys that are short and I don't know, they just look awkward with tall girls and all that stuff.
Mm.
Dizzy makes it work.
He's a
Dizzy looks.
short king, Michael.
He maybe that's
Short
what
got
it
the
is.
confidence.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
the confidence. You remind me of Turtle from Entourage.
My mom said she's glad I wasn't taller because she's like, I would have had like 5-8 grandchildren by now.
Oh, that's probably
I would
true.
have just been slanging it around.
Oh,
That's
you,
why I semi-slang it now.
you have siblings,
Yeah, yeah.
and how did the Trinidadians end up in Canada? Were
My
they?
dad from football, like soccer, he went over there
Oh,
playing semi-pro, and then my mom.
was a groupie.
Honestly, my mom, her best friend's head got chopped off.
Whoa.
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, outside her house. So my grandparents were like, "We should probably leave this country."
From Trinidad?
in Trinidad, yeah.
Oh,
How's that?
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be in a country where it's okay to chop somebody's head off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Cops, they don't really have cops out there like that, right? They can't afford it like that.
So I always wonder why the mob didn't go over to some place like that and just take over the country.
No money.
Well, they will be if you own the country.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever Trinidad's main export was, well, now we own that.
Hmm.
I still believe one day I'll take over a country.
Like Trinidad or Vegas.
Yeah. Like Vegas seems harder, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a
It'd be
little
hard
bit.
to take care of Vegas.
Vegas only happened because they shut down Cuba.
Right. They shut
Right.
down Cuba
Yeah.
and you weren't allowed to, the gambling laws were strict.
Mm-hmm.
Throw it out in the desert though. That whole speech that what's his name makes about Bugsy Siegel, although he's referring to what's his name, the guy that got shot in the eye, Mo Green. That guy's name was Mo Green, not a sign with his name on it here. That's all Bugsy Siegel about because he pretty much started Vegas.
Yeah.
And they had it they wanted to make it for a place so the guys like the Marines and stuff had a place to go and party. Now look at it.
Yeah.
I want to go to Vegas so bad. See, it's interesting that most people would think that this is good. My wife doesn't want to go. And you would be like, oh, green light, go, take your friends, go to Vegas. I can't. First of all, I'd like to go see U2. I haven't been to Vegas in a long time, and I want to go there and gamble and have a good time. I can't do that unless my wife is there, because if I go there and I spend $10,000, it's a big deal. If we go there and spend $10,000, no,
It's
talks about it. It's okay. Yeah.
Family vacation.
Not even that. It's like, oh, I can't believe we lost $10,000. Wow, that was terrible. We should not do that again for a couple of years.
Yeah, but U2 was great.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. She doesn't like you too. So
Yeah.
I don't really even love U2 that much. I just want to go see them live, and I want to be in that dome thing and that
Yeah.
sphere. The sphere.
Sphere.
Yeah.
I wonder who's going to be there next.
Well, that's how I was trying to think because
Like, I would wait to a band you really want to see.
well, not only that, but like Metallica, I don't want to see them in there. I want to see a band that's going to incorporate that multimedia into their act like
Yeah.
U2 does. So who's
It's going to be like Coldplay or something.
that would be awful.
Yeah.
That would be awful. Or, it would be great that I wouldn't go see, but it would be great. It was like Talking Heads or somebody like that would really utilize that
Oh
sphere.
yeah, for sure.
But I'm not going to go for that.
I'd go see Foo Fighters in there. That'd be awesome.
But the thing is, I'd see Foo Fighters anywhere.
That's
So
right,
yeah.
like, who would you want to like? Who would be good
Well, I think
in the whole?
I think it's gonna be big bands. So whether
Yeah.
like you saw Paul
So-
McCartney was there.
Tickets, well, that's because it's the first one and it's U2.
I
But
know,
the tickets
but-
aren't even that expensive.
Yeah, but they're doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's got to be
Yeah.
an artist or a
They
group
can
that
continually draw
right.
at $5, like the cheapest ticket's like $500.
No, I don't. Gio, I saw a thing yesterday. It was a package, 2 floor tickets and a hotel stay for like $1,400.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe so.
pretty
I was
good.
I was just looking on their website,
Yeah.
and the cheapest ticket on like the Wednesday night was like $500, and that was obstructed view ticket.
Oh no.
Yeah, because I guess if you're in the middle level, the balcony's over you, so
Overhang,
you
yeah.
can't see the roof. You can only see straight ahead.
If you're in the what was it from Star Wars?
Oh, the Senate.
The Senate. If you're in the
Yeah.
Senate, you can't see anything.
So they say you want to be on the top, which is more expensive, or in the bottom.
I want to be on the bottom because I want to be able to look up and just see
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, it
I'm
looks-
not even looking at the band. I just want to see everything.
It
tell it
looks
to Mo. You want to be on the bottom.
Mo's dead to me. Don't bring that name up.
Oh.
I don't even know who that person is.
Mo and
Is-
Medicine Man now both banned.
Well, I mean, I kind of like Medicine Man. Maurice is out of my life. Him and Greg.
Oh,
Was
Yeah,
Greg there yesterday? I don't know about that.
I'm sure they canceled the show.
Man, who does that? Who doesn't put their show first?
Mo.
it's wild.
Not wild. It's vibe.
He also will do because Mo does his rock show on the weekend, and he'll do like best of where he doesn't show up for that.
Went on for 3 weeks.
And it's 2 hours on a Saturday. You know how he does best of?
How?
Me.
Oh.
He puts the show with me on.
That's fun.
Oh, I just
That's
run
so
that all
funny.
the time.
Honestly, I think that Spanish can do. So this is a new development. I think that Spanish should do a conspiracy show on the weekends, right?
Yeah.
But did you see who the counter is to this? The counter to all Spanish's conspiracies?
No.
Ethan.
Oh yeah.
And not just getting on the internet and going, "You're dumb." He's like Spanish was talking about this test today and how we have metals in our body and this thing and control people and all that. And Ethan's like, we have essential metals in our body, you idiot. Like he's just, and I thought, well, this would be good to have the two of them go back and forth and discuss, and then at the end decide whether it's a legit conspiracy theory or if it's a fraud.
Yeah.
I thought that would be very entertaining, and I think that they should do it more as a do it on the weekend or whatever, but keep it more and let it live as a podcast. That'd probably be the way to go.
You
But
know,
what do I know?
they're saying this is the 7th time they've done this EAS test.
Well, I don't. But the thing is, Gio, it's different now because
I don't think it is. Everybody's just saying that it's different.
Well, no,
No.
it is what they're saying. Why it's different is because they're saying those metals that are in your body were put in by the vaccine, the COVID vaccine. So that's what's making it different. Yes, they have had these tests before. They had one in 2021.
Yeah.
So that was prior to the COVID stuff, whatever. But
some
they're
people
saying
are acting as if it's something new that we haven't done before.
right.
no. I mean, every time a Amber Alert goes off, it's going to be just like that.
Yeah.
It's going to last. It's going to be annoying for 20 seconds. You shut it off and it's over. But people are putting their phone in the microwave today. So let's see how many people's microwave start to fire because they don't know what they're talking about. You know,
So don't turn it on when the phone's in there.
No, but I'm
Okay.
saying that's what I think people are going to be. So I don't know what the government's doing.
Hit the popcorn button.
Yeah, and they get those boxes that everybody's putting their stuff in. It is what
Faraday
it is.
box.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I get it. Some of that stuff is very legit, and some of it's like it is what it is. Just deal with it. Oh man. Anyway,
will you do anything with yours? Will you turn yours off or
no?
No.
Well, if you turn it off, it doesn't matter. They still want to be able to ping it, you know. So I'm not gonna do anything. The only thing that you could do is put it in one of those Faraday boxes or put it in the. I don't know where the microwave came in, but that's what everybody says. Put it in the microwave because it'll block out it'll keep all the things inside. But I'm not doing any of those.
I already logged into TikTok and let China know where I was at anyway. So
Good.
So it's happening today at 2:20 p.m. Eastern time. So I'm going running after the show. So I'm probably just gonna whip my phone into the woods.
Probably. And then go back and get it.
I'll find it later.
if there's like a nearby pond, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't want to make everybody scared, especially a guy like you did that's young, because you probably didn't see this, but you know the Halloween movies?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's Michael Myers as Halloween when he's a kid, and then he becomes a killer. Then 2 is him as an adult. 3, they really went crazy. They did Halloween 3D, and it had nothing to do with Michael Myers. It was a company that created these Halloween masks, and then you were going to put the mask on, and you were going to watch the screen at a certain time, like to win a prize or whatever. And the screen would start flashing, and when it did, your head started melting and crushed, and bugs came crawling out of your head. It was the grossest thing ever, and it was when you're a kid, it was so scary. It's so ridiculous now to think about. But this is where they get everybody to look at the TV together.
What is the one with the phone? Isn't that the Kingsman or
Kingsman? Yeah.
Right? Did they? Yeah.
Where everybody started fighting each other and killing each other. Dude, that is one of the best, most bloodiest scenes ever because the Kingsman goes in the church where they're all fighting each other and he kills everybody in the church. I love those movies. I thought they were great. They're so silly and over the top like all the action movies are, but they were pretty awesome.
Well, there was it No Time to Die, the last James Bond movie where they had the Spectre group or whatever, and then they wound up the guy had the thing that went off and it only killed those people because they had the stuff in their blood system.
Right.
And,
I mean it's a viable weapon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you can get people to ingest something or somehow get it in their body and then target just that, like they have rockets now. I remember I went to Jacksonville where they have the big battleship out there, and I got a VIP tour of the battleship. And there was one room they wouldn't bring me in, and I said, "What do they do in there?" And he goes, "Mostly listening." And I listening to who? He goes, "Phone conversations and other people in the Middle East and wherever." Really? He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "When you open the door, there's a team of guys and they were headphones on, and they're listening and taking notes." And I went, "That's amazing to me." And I go, "What about this room?" He goes, "Oh, that's where they launched the missiles." And I go, "Oh, can we see that room?" And he goes, "No, of course not." He goes, "But I will tell you that if they wanted to kill you and they had your DNA, that missile will find you wherever you are and kill you, and it'll just get you." And
nice.
Like, okay, I mean, it's great to know as long as they're not looking for me. That's all I need to worry about. All right, listen to me. It's Wednesday. We had a lot of good things happen in the show, including a brand new open letter from Galvin.
Mm-hmm.
And then at 8:00, we're not doing Under Oath today. We're gonna have to move that maybe to tomorrow or Friday. One of the original owners of Hooters, Ed Drosty, who is a longtime friend and fraternity brother of mine.
Oh, you guys didn't do the handshake when he comes in?
We may. I don't know. I don't get to do that very often. I was wearing my my shirt one time, 20 years ago in the airport, and some guy just walked up to me and put his hand out, and I awkwardly shook his hand. I didn't know what was going on, and he gave me the handshake. I got it.
Is it a secret handshake, Mike?
Yes, of course, it's a secret handshake.
Will
You want me to show it?
Yes.
Never.
Why?
The only person that I ever shared fraternity secrets with outside the fraternity was my brother John, because John shared it with me because the rule is you're only supposed to do it between brothers. So technically we were still
Oh,
we were
yeah.
still there.
Mhm.
But yeah. So I mean, I'm sure.
I thought it was fraternity brothers, not brothers.
Yes, I know that
Oh,
was
sorry.
we were trying to find a
There's a
loophole.
loophole, yeah.
But I think that I mean,
And black guys, brothers.
what? No.
Oh,
Not Mo.
Right.
Say that. Not Mo. Mo's out of my
No.
fraternity.
With the brothers.
Mhm. If you Google it, I bet you the secrets probably come up because rats don't know how to be.
Oh, I'm
Right.
sure you
Yeah.
could. I'm sure you can put in YouTube of whatever the fraternity is, handshake, whatever,
Right.
and they'll show it.
Did you have to do the elephant walk?
No.
No?
No, that was a
What's the elephant walk?
Google it.
yeah. There was a weird thing, not weird, thankfully, and I think it was because I got in a fraternity in the 90s where everybody was kind of like hippie and girls have rights too and all that stuff. I think that
They did away with the hazing at that point.
it was a little hazing, but
Yeah.
nobody hit me with a paddle. Nobody. I remember the only
No
thing
matter how many times you ask.
it's like, come on, I made this paddle.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
On Hell Night, it got a little crazy, but at one point I said to a guy, I go, look, if that guy touches me again, I'm going to take this blindfold off and kill him. I don't care about your fraternity, but that was part of the deal, you know?
I want to think it's just like old school. They pull up in the van and
Yeah.
grab you.
Oh, it wasn't too far from that. I'm going to tell you, it happens in the middle of the night. So, but after it's over, you're like, all right,
Yeah.
that was pretty awesome. So that's the other thing on my son. I don't want him being in another fraternity.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be in mine. I don't want him to be in another one.
It gets crazy up there.
Mm. All right, let's take a break, get the show moving this morning. We will have some stuff to give away when we come back. Dizzy will tell us what that is. I know we got Halloween Horror Nights and a bunch of other stuff going on. I'm trying to find out why Universal hates us. I don't understand. There are people that I used to think Hard Rock hates us. Evidently, they don't. They've been very nice to us lately. They just don't want us to have parties there anymore.
Yeah.
But Universal used to love us. Now they don't like us. So I don't know what's going on. But Halloween Horror Nights, which if it is fun for Halloween people. I'm just not a Halloween
Yeah.
person. It's a great time. It's a great time, but I don't care about haunted houses. I don't want to be scared. I don't want to go on roller coasters. Like I didn't go on the Disney Mine Train roller coaster this time because I didn't want to be jostled around. I've been on that roller coaster a bunch of times as a baby roller coaster, but
Yeah.
I didn't want to be jostled around the whole time. I was like, I don't feel like I have to throw up when I
You
get off
talked
this.
about going on Space Mountain. I assume that did not happen.
That's also jostling, though.
Two things though. Nobody wanted to go on because they all wanted to go on Tron, and
Oh,
the wait
yeah.
was ridiculous.
I forgot they have that.
Dude, so the Tron thing, I didn't go on that. I didn't even walk over there. You can put yourself in the queue. The people that was to put themselves in the queue at 11 o'clock in the morning and didn't get on until 7 o'clock at night.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're like you're the 17,842nd person in line. It's insane. It's insane. All right, we'll come back. We'll do Sporkle. Galvin has a brand new open letter. Ed Drosty and Bob Passwaters from the original Hooters are going to come in to talk about the Hooters 40th anniversary. And not just to plug the 40th anniversary stuff, but I really want to know about the origin of Hooters. I mean, this seems like something that they should have made a documentary about, or at least like a movie, like an old school type movie, just 4 guys sitting around, or 6 guys, whatever it was, and put their money together and start a wing joint with girls with shorts. You know what I mean? It seems like the best idea ever, and they actually got it off the ground. And some 40 years later, it's still one of the most popular restaurants in the country. So those guys will be here in the 8 o'clock hour. They have a big concert this weekend happening out at the Sound in Clearwater. And then what else? We got a lot of things to give away. We'll do that next on 102.5 The Bone.
You're listening to the Mike Calta Show.
It is 6:50 on the Mike Calta Show. It's 102.5 The Bone. Today at Stingray Chevrolet, exit 22 in Plant City. You can go by and have coffee with a cop, which is a great event that they do. They do it over here in Pasco. I guess that's Pasco over there at my Starbucks with my guy Joey. They bring Sheriff Nacco and some of his guys over there. Sometimes they bring the vehicles there so the kids could go see them. But it's a good time to go get to know who. Remember in the old school, you watch a TV show, everybody knew the sheriff. Oh, Sheriff Bob. Yeah,
Right,
Sheriff
right.
Bob's here. We have a problem. We had vandalism last night. Let me get Sheriff Bob on the phone. Nobody does that. You should know who your law enforcement people are in the area, and then maybe you'll think better of them when you get to know their personality and know that they're also family people and they're out there just trying to do a good job. That's going on this morning. You can go by and get coffee at Stingray Chevrolet and hang out with. I don't know if the handsome Chad Carnisher is going to be there, but there will be coffee with a cop this morning. So go by and hang out at Stingray Chevrolet. I'd like to go by and get a donut right now. I'm so hungry. Fatty can't eat donuts though.
I was gonna bring a sausage.
No sausage.
No.
All right.
No sausage. I'm doing good.
I was
cheated.
getting vibes when I was in the drive-through.
Doing good. I'm doing good. I did steal a couple of Spanish peanuts last night. I was in this room for like 6 hours yesterday after the show. Not at like in the evening. I had work to do. I was trying to clean up a little bit. Then I had a Zoom call to do, and I felt like I almost wanted to just lay down and just sleep here. It'd been easier. I've been in the room already. What else? I had something else to tell you about. This Saturday night, the band Chicago will be out at the Sound in Clearwater to celebrate Hooters' 40th anniversary. Do you remember the first time you went to a Hooters?
Yes.
Which one was it?
It was the original Hooters.
Was it? You were probably there on opening day.
Yeah, I think I might have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The original Hooters was also my first Hooters, even though I had the great Newport Richie Hooters on the Water is my favorite one. But
That's the one that I went to as a kid.
first one,
Yeah, I think so. There
Galvin?
might be a sooner one, but
I'm trying to think. When did Hooters? So
83.
And then when did they start popping up in other places?
I don't know. I only know them. So I came down here in '89 to go to St. Leo, and my buddy Eddie's parents, they were here. It was like parent weekend, and we went to Hooters for lunch or whatever, and I'd never seen anything like it. I was like, this is fantastic.
When my cousins came in from New York, they wanted to go to Hooters.
Yeah. Oh,
So we picked them up at the airport in a 1960 Pontiac with the top cut off, and we drove it
cut
over-
off, not
Yeah,
not a convertible,
yeah,
cut off.
cut off, and we drove it over to Hooters, the original Hooters.
That's
and,
hilarious.
yeah, it was our first stop.
I would imagine my first one was the one up in Destin, Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, I mean, that had to have been sometime in the 90s. So they had been open here, obviously, for a long time before that. But then whenever that one opened up there, I think that was probably the first one I went to.
So I went to the original Hooters. Then I loved the one in Newport Richie or Port Richie, whatever that is up there. And then I've been to one in Atlantic City. I've been to one in New York. I've been to Chicago. I've been to a lot of Hooters. Vegas. Yeah. I've been to a lot. And I gotta tell you, a lot of guys are going there for the girls. This guy's going there for the food. Sad but true. All right, Dizzy, what are we giving away today?
We have a pair of TSO tickets left. Next big thing, Outlaw Fest featuring Willie Nelson, Halloween Horror Nights, Buddy Guy, and just added $50 gift card for Hooters.
Oh, there you go. All right. Oh man, I crushed $50. I went to Hooters the other day, and Joe, when I went with you and Spanish and Moose, and I got a salad with grilled chicken on it, and I went, who am I? Who am I? All right, let's give some stuff away right now. A little bit of Sporkle. Here we go. Ozarks. Galvin.
Yes.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Dizzy is the keeper of Sporkle. Pap is your judge and scorekeeper. Dizzy, what are we playing today?
Today in history, Pixar was created. Don't bother Googling it. I'm sure I'm not lying.
No.
We will be doing a 4-letter word ladder based off the first 10 Pixar films.
All right. I want to remind you.
Want a recap of the last 10 movies just so you guys are all on the same page?
No, it's cheating.
Raw
Cheating.
dog it? All right,
Yeah.
let's go.
I don't understand. What are we doing?
A word ladder, but it's
word
Pixar
ladder.
related.
Okay,
Yeah.
Pixar word ladder. All right.
Sporkle is brought to you by our friends at Lifeguard Imaging. Cancer and heart disease are silent killers. You can go get peace of mind for you and your family when you get scanned at lifeguardimaging.com. That is lifeguardimaging.com. All right, here we go. Word ladder, Pixar style. Do it.
All right, so again, it's 4 letters. First one, let's start. Toy Story Space Ranger.
Buzz.
Mike. Peach or kiwi?
Buzz.
Galvin. Sound of carbonated beverage.
Fizz.
Sounded like Galvin to me.
Yeah.
Galvin. All right. JFK syllable. JFK syllable.
What was the last one? Fizz?
Fizz. Fitz. FITZ.
Oh, yeah.
I don't get that.
All right.
So the last word was Fitz, FITZ. If the shoe blank.
Fits.
Galvin. Fish propellers.
Fins.
Well, that's a hard one. It's fins. Who got it?
I don't know.
I would say Galvin.
I would say me.
I would say me too.
Yeah,
That's
guess the
I'm out
one.
real.
All right.
Blank McMissile of Cars 2. Blank McMissile of Cars 2. Your last word was fins.
Fans.
Missile.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Fonz.
No. Fin. 2 N's.
Oh, all right.
No point.
Minneapolis State. Abbreviated.
Min.
Correct, Mike. Coin maker.
Mint.
Mint.
Galvin. Blank. Sorry. Yeah, blank. Sorry, I lied. Blank. Blanc.
Mont.
Oh,
Yes, Galvin.
What was it?
Mont.
Blanc.
Mont Blanc.
Hopper's obnoxious brother in A Bug's
Flick.
Life.
Nope.
Last word was Mont.
I don't know.
Mant.
Molt. Molt.
Okay.
Fungus that grows.
Mold.
Mold's correct.
Michael.
Michael. Yeah. Blank. Sorry, Texas. Blankum.
Cold.
Yeah.
Hold. Who said hold?
Mike did.
Yeah. Okay.
Michael.
Confirm. Saint like.
Holy.
Mike. Blank. Poli.
Rolly.
Mike.
I was called that one. Twice.
And I missed the halfway mark a while back. I just
Alright.
realized that. I'm looking. I was like, oh, we're getting near the end. So I'll tell you when we're at the last 3. We have one more to go before on that.
Spanish
So-
has. Oh, do you want the score?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go with the score now.
Spanish has 0. Gio has also 0. Michael has 6, and Galvin also has 6.
No.
Ooh.
Roly poly.
4 left, you said?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what was
last
the
one.
last one? Was
Rolly.
okay.
Depend on.
Rely.
Mike. Ratatouille character known as Little Chef.
Remy.
Yeah, look at Gio. Yeah.
I love that movie.
Was it Remy?
Remy,
R-E-M-I?
R-E-M-Y.
Why? Okay.
Yeah. So now we're on the last 3.
All right.
Spanish has 0. Gio has 1. Galvin with 6, and Michael, your leader, by 1 with 7.
Okay. Last word was Remy with a Y. San blank. Italian resort town.
Remo.
Galvin.
You're Italian. You
Yeah.
didn't know it. Paisan.
Office note.
Memo.
Memo.
Mike.
Oh, I need this one. I need this one. to
Last
die.
word was
Galvin with
memo.
7. Mike with 8.
Yeah.
Bit of internet humor.
Meme.
Oh, I was thinking Nemo. I don't even know if that's Pixar.
Is that it?
That's it?
Last one. Yeah.
Your final score, Spanish with 0. Gio beating him by 1 with 1. Galvin with 7. And Michael, your victorious champion. He won with 9.
5-time champion. Woo, woo. Second rule. Second rule coming in.
Oh.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just checking because notoriously you're wrong on
It doesn't seem right.
how long stuff happens and stuff. It may be right.
You
Yeah.
may be crazy.
Just with Spanish out and not keeping score. I don't know.
Well, I've been keeping score.
Yeah.
Mm. You want to hold off on making a new rule till Spanish checks it? Like, I don't know how do you want to handle this.
Well, so you won
All this
week
There's 3.
And Friday.
and Friday and
4.
Thursday.
I mean, I must have because I have 5 in a row down here.
Who won Thursday?
It would be me.
You may have. I just don't know.
Yeah. I don't
I
know.
mean, if somebody would have taken over keeping score.
I mean, I
stuff.
have it.
Well, I mean,
Here,
a failure
I
is a
wrote it.
failure.
Yeah, I know you have it.
I
What
wrote
I'm
it
saying
down.
is you're not great at.
like a non-player in
Remembering
the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also maybe the
A
judge.
non-player.
Yeah.
would
Supposed
You're
to be
not playing.
unbiased.
Why would you
Take-
keep score? You don't put any points on the board.
Listen, don't try to project your failures on me. That's not my fault.
Promises, 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 promises. He says he'll go see Chicago, but he won't. And good things. Promises, 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 promises.
He didn't win 5 in a row, even though Joe doesn't keep count. Nice things.
Promises, 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 promises.
I'll be at Chicago with my friend Ian Backles. Yeah, I'm going to Chicago.
All right.
I'm going to Chicago. I love Chicago. Never seen them.
Yeah, I know. That's why I don't
crazy.
think. I think you have
Hold
a
on.
better chance of driving to Chicago, Illinois.
I'll be in Chicago on Saturday night at the Sound where
The weather's gonna be
temperature's
awesome.
60 degrees.
That's what they say. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice. I might wear long sleeves. Ooh, chilly.
Oh
It's chilly.
man, when they sing Saturday in the park and it's Saturday,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
oh my God. If there is an Italian man selling ice cream,
Yeah.
it's gonna be something else.
Oh, good. That is happening on Saturday, and I will be there. Promises, promises. How do you like that? What did I promise tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow or Friday rather. I have David Wells's charity event. I will be at that for sure. And then they let me out of the golf part. I don't have to do that on Saturday.
Oh,
So,
good.
Yeah, that Chicago is happening. Promises,
All right,
promises.
all right.
What do we have coming up in news, Calvin?
Coming up in news today, get off the bus, get out of the office, and get a goddamn taco.
I'd like to get it done.
Let's get tacos.
And by the way, coffee with the cops at Stingray. Also, coffee with the cops over here at Starbucks that I was just talking about. I
Oh.
did not know that was today.
Oh.
I guess that's like a national thing. If you're in the area and you want to stop by the Starbucks on 54 and the Veterans, that is basically our home base Starbucks over there. Go see Joey and the guys and a bunch of cops. There you go. All right, we'll take a break. Galvin, as your news, we'll do that next. And then in the 8 o'clock hour, the original owner of Hooters, him and the other group of guys, Ed Drosty will be here. I know of Ed from my days of being a fan of the Ron and Ron show. It is how my love for Hooters, I think, started by knowing it through those guys. And we'll talk to them. I'm very curious to know about the start. And also, I believe a prominent Tampa Bay radio host was offered to be in the ownership group and turned it down.
Oh.
I'm going to talk to them about that and find out if that's true as well.
Yikes.
So let's take a break. Galvin Ash News. We'll do it next on 102.5 The Bone.
It's the Mike Calta Show.
It is 7:13 on the Mike Calta Show. It's 102.5 The Bone. The song reminded me of that Hey Mo. Mo's dead to me. Mo Green. Today in the 8 o'clock, man, I am all over the place today. Today in the 8 o'clock hour, Ed Drosty, one of the original 6 owners of Hooters, will be here along with Bob Passwaters, which I'm going to tell you right now. I've been friends with Bob Passwaters since 1996, and I don't know what he does.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, I know what he does. He's the ambassador to Hooters. He's the main guy. He's the go-to. Like, if I ever want to do anything with Hooters, I go right to Bob. But I don't technically know what Bob's job is. Like, I don't know I don't know. I don't know. But Bob also taught me. So there was a time where when I got fired from 98 Rock, that I went over and worked with the Hooters girls on 1010. And through that connection, I made a lot of other connections. Got to meet great people like Spanish hero Dan Marino and Chris Collinsworth and all those guys. When they were here doing Inside the NFL at Raymond James Stadium, I got to go over and meet them because I was with the Hooters people. And, you know, just a bunch of good things like that. But do you remember the number one connection out of that whole thing was, I probably shouldn't say this today, but when we were on the air here and there was rumors that there was an episode of Fear Factor that wouldn't air because there were girls on there, sisters, twins, I think.
I remember.
Who drank horse semen on Fear Factor as one of the things, and NBC didn't know whether or not they were going to air it or not. And I saw those girls last name was Odioso, and I knew Rick Odioso through Bob Passwaters, and I'm like, what are the chances that that's not a relation, and we're able to look them up and get them on the phone, and they came on the air with us, and we were the only people in the world that they talked to. Everybody wrote stories about it, but we were the only ones that they talked to. And I remember that interview that we did made it into Details magazine. It made it into FHM. It was everywhere because we were the only ones who actually talked to him.
Right.
And everybody was wondering if it was true or not, and if that episode would air and all this stuff. And then Rogan came out and said he didn't think that NBC ever had any intention of airing it. They just wanted the publicity for it. And I thought, well, that sucks for those girls because they were doing what they had to do to win.
And that's what that ended that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that show was ending.
Yeah,
That was kind of like the end
Was
of it.
that when it came back? Because it went away and then it came
No,
back.
this
for a
was the
second.
first round.
Okay.
Yeah.
When it came back was when they asked me to be on it, and I said no.
Yeah.
No, the guy could not understand that I would not turn that I was turning. He goes, the grand prize is like $100,000. I'm like, yeah, I make a lot of money. I'm not gonna go eat a horse's nuts or any of that stuff, bugs, and I don't want to be locked in a box. And I watched some of the things they did.
Yeah, I don't think there was one thing on that show that I was like, oh yeah, I would do that. There was
like they had the one thing that they did that I've always wanted to do, which I know if I just tried this, I'd kill myself, but you ever drive behind a truck at like a tow truck and they have the flatbed down so it's like a ramp? I always wanted to just ride right up the ramp and jump over the front of the car, which would result in me smashing into the cab of the truck and we'd all die. But it just seems so fun. Well, in Fear Factor, they did it. They actually jumped onto a moving car, and I thought that was the coolest thing. That stuff I would do because they were wearing protective gear and they had the car was attached to a helicopter and all this stuff. But that kind of stuff I would do. But when it came to eating bugs and drinking, and there was one thing where they had to sit in a bucket of goat's blood, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that garbage. Not for that kind of money, I'll tell you that. If they were like a $10 million grand prize, I'd be like, give me all the goat balls you want. Let's go. I don't know. Fear Factor was not my thing at all.
No,
Fear is not a factor for you.
No, it is not.
fear is a factor.
You know who it's a factor for? The guy who tried to fight Joe Rogan on the set. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
I got angry with him. Joe Rogan stepped to him, and we were all like,
Because his wife was being a bitch and yelling back and forth, and then I don't know whether he grabbed her or she grabbed him, and he goes, "Hey, you can't do that with her." And then that guy bowed up on Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan grabbed him, and the Miz was on there.
oh,
The Miz was on there as well, and the Miz was like, and then Joe Rogan was going to kill the guy, and I'm like, should I just let him kill this guy or whatever? And the Miz didn't like get too involved, but he was like, hey, calm down, whatever. Yeah, but Rogan was trying to.
How come I've never been that guy that's like, hey, calm down? I'm the guy that goes, I bet he'd kill you, Joe.
Yeah.
Like I always want to see a guy get his ass kicked. I don't want anybody to die, but I'd like to see a little scuffle.
And I think that was way before everybody knew that Joe was a karate champion when he was younger, and then he trained MMA and did all that stuff.
So that video of him throwing the roundhouse kick, and you're like, oh, I don't want that guy to kick me.
Yeah.
All right, it is 7:18 on the Mike Calta Show. Time to check in with Galvin. He has today's news.
And now, news with Galvin on the Mike Calta Show.
What do we have in news today, Galvin?
So today's news is brought to you by Pelt Shoes. If you have not heard yet, the Pelt Perks program is going on now. I want you to save money. So you want to get in there at Pelts and buy some shoes? Well, I want you to do that, and I want you to save money while you're doing it, because every dollar you spend at Pelts, you're going to get points that you can redeem for cash off of your next purchase. So you can go in there and whisper Galvin and sign up for the Pelts Perks program at the same time. That's hard to say.
It's hard to say.
Pelts Perks program. Pelts Perks program. So you go in there, you can whisper Galvin, and you'll get 25 points automatically deposited into your Pelts Perks account and an instant $5 off your first purchase. So Pelts Shoes has 6 locations throughout Pinellas, Hillsborough, and all over the area. If you hear my voice, you're probably near a Pelts right now. So get in on it, save yourself some money. The Pelts Perks program going on now. Pelts Shoes, get them at Pelts. So everyone's been talking about it. It's happening today. Everyone's phone will get an alarm at 2:20 p.m. Eastern time today. So earlier this year, the government announced that it had picked this day for a nationwide test of the emergency alert system and wireless emergency alerts. An alert will be sent to all radios and televisions, as well as all consumer cell phones. You don't need to do anything. You can just ignore it. It's just like those tests of the emergency broadcast system that happened all the time throughout the 80s and 90s and stuff. The purpose is to make sure that the system works, because if there's an actual emergency like a tornado or something like that, there's no time for troubleshooting. So it'll be a brief interruption. But of course, some people are saying they're avoiding it by leaving their phone off all day.
If you want to see an idea of why people want to leave their phone off and put it in the microwave and do all that, there's a video on our Instagram at the Mike Calta Show. Just scroll down. It's like the second row of videos where Spanish breaks down why people are worried about the test going off today.
So they claim that the alert on the people's cell phone will be used to activate nanoparticles introduced into people's bodies. They say that was in the COVID vaccine. There are many conflicting explanations for how or why this will happen. When that happens, the government will be able to monitor people and control them like remote control toys. This is not the first nationwide test to be sent through phones. Federal law requires the systems to be tested every few years. The last one happened in 2021.
Oh, man. What if something weird happens today?
Well, I mean, if you want to shut your phone off, or if you want to give me, I'll take it and I'll throw it in the creek when I'm.
Do you know what people are saying to me, like when I'm surprised by these things? The number one thing that everybody says is that they've been telling us all this stuff through television and movies, like that the idea of these things happen, like aliens and stuff. They tell us a little bit. So when it actually happens, we don't all freak out. So remember the other day we were talking about how FEMA has a section where they deal with zombies.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I don't know what they're considering zombies in as far as FEMA goes, but what we think zombies are people who died and then came back to life, ish kind of thing.
Yeah, they're brain dead, but their body
There's
still moves.
A thing in FEMA about dealing with zombies, and that seems crazy to me. But people are emailing me when I say that, like, yeah, why do you think there's all these zombie shows and all this stuff? They're telling you, they're giving you through TV and through movies so that you're used to it.
Well, you're also the one that says James Cameron has been telling us about AI forever.
I mean, that is absolute truth.
So
James Cameron laid out the plan. He
Right.
told us exactly what was going to happen in all of his Terminator movies.
So let me ask you this: would you rather chance it and have something happen, or just turn your phone off for a half hour?
Oh, I'm chancing. I want to know.
Alright.
Like, I think if aliens come here, they're probably going to destroy the planet and kill us all. But it would be pretty cool for the couple of days that those ships are just lurking out there. Like, remember Independence Day where they all lined up?
Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah, but when you walk outside and you look up and you're like, it's real, it's here, it's happening.
Yeah,
like, don't you want to know
life is
so many,
over.
but so many answers to so many questions.
I'd rather not know and live a full life.
What's that?
I'm the same as Galvin. You seem to me like these people in Independence Day, they go, ooh. And
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
He's gonna be up on the top of the building dancing and holding up a sign. Welcome.
I hope they bring back Elvis.
Blows and fire.
I certainly don't want that. I'm just saying I would like to know what the answer is, and if we're all going to die together and that was the answer, okay, well at least we knew before we died.
Yeah.
You just want to wait. You just want to be sleeping and get blown up.
No, I want to live my entire life and
If I had
have
a
aliens
choice
blow me up.
Between dying and living, I would pick.
In a historic named interim speaker, Patrick McHenry of North Carolina has ordered her to vacate her office in the Capitol building. Oh, man. She does maintain her regular office in the Cannon House. Resign H132 for Speaker Joel Byrd.
Didn't it say that the doors will be rekeyed by like a certain time too?
He should go in there with the lease for the office and tear it up in her face like that. All sassy
political theater.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What a crazy day yesterday was. Like I enjoy the moments of history that play out on television that you can watch it, you know?
Yeah.
And yesterday, them kicking him out as speaker. What was the one thing? Did you watch any of that?
A little bit.
Did you watch any of it?
I didn't.
I watched almost the whole thing, just the vote and then the post. And the whole time they're doing the vote, I'm thinking the worst part about this to me is this guy's kids. They're just sitting there watching everybody vote. We hate him. He's out. Like half the people. There was enough people in there to vote him out. So that shows the world you're a failure.
Yeah.
You're a failure at your job. Your own people turned against you. I don't know. It's just a weird thing to watch yesterday.
President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, formally entered a plea of not guilty to felony gun charges Tuesday, setting up the possibility of a high-profile trial as his father embarks on a re-election bid in the coming year. Appearing in the same federal courthouse in Delaware where his plea deal with prosecutors fell apart over the summer, the younger Biden indicated he would fight the 3-count indictment brought last month by special counsel David Wise, the same prosecutor who brokered the ill-fated agreement. After entering his plea, Abe Lowell, an attorney for Biden, signaled his intention to file a motion to dismiss the government's case. He said they would challenge the constitutionality of at least one charge and argued the elements of his prior plea agreement remained in effect. Judge Christopher Burke set a November 3rd deadline for parties to file motions.
I think this whole Hunter Biden thing is just a waste of time and garbage. Nobody cares that he had a gun when he was on drugs or whatever the deal was. They're just using this to be able to get them in depositions and answer. And the messed up thing is they're already finding out stuff. They're already reading emails and seeing where money was spent, following money trails now. So it has to be done.
But the thing is, and yeah, I think they're obviously doing this to make President Biden look bad and this come up while he's in his reelection and stuff. But the guy did lie on the thing, whatever, and he was on drugs and doing everything else.
Right.
I mean,
but I would think that for anybody, not if there was no crime committed, like he didn't use the gun to go hurt anybody, there isn't another situation that's a result of him having a gun. It's just something that they found out and something that they knew, and then they're sticking it to him. But the main reason why they're doing this is not only to embarrass the president, but to investigate other things that they believe Hunter Biden has done, and I think that's necessary. But the gun thing is just a waste of time.
I think
for a president's son or anybody.
But it's opening the door.
It's like a response to Trump being all this. He's getting indicted on all these crazy charges.
And who loses?
Everybody.
We do.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
We do, because we're here now looking like a bunch of jackasses to other countries as a result of both of our leaders being involved in messed up stuff. I almost said effed up, messed up stuff.
Be careful. 5 people suffered non-life-threatening injuries in a shooting Tuesday night near Baltimore's Morgan State University, where authorities issued and later lifted a shelter-in-place order, police said. A suspect had not yet been identified in the incident, which occurred on a street that borders the university, according to Baltimore Police Department.
That's the other problem about kids going away to school and all that stuff. The last thing I want to hear is there's a gunman on the campus of FSU.
Oh,
your kids there.
Yeah.
What's worse, that or then finding out your kid's the gunman?
That's clearly worse.
Yeah. Way worse.
Clearly, that's way worse.
Oh, I mean, I meant worse than finding out your kid's been shot or that he's doing the shooting. You know, you don't want to lose your kid, but either way, you're losing your kid.
I mean, I think they go hand in hand. They're pretty.
Yeah, that's pretty awful.
Yeah,
that's brutal.
I mean, imagine you have a name like McCluskey Cuddy, and your kid's the killer and the shooter, and then the next day you're in Publix and they're like, I need your ID, and you're like, are you related to the McCluskey Cuddy killer? That's just something that is just sad for the rest of the family.
Well, right away the families get doxxed online, and it's
like they did something.
Yeah,
and that just shows you like how many people that affects. Like, you know, here there was 5 people shot, so now you have all 5 of their families and friends and all those people, the family and friends of the shooter, the police that are involved, whether anything happens. I mean, it goes so far out. Did you see the other day the 11-year-old kid
that was in Popka, Florida? I did see that. It was like at a football game.
First off, one thing, that's a big ass 11-year-old.
Yeah,
he was a big 11-year-old, but shot 2 kids.
They're like all arguing, fighting. He goes over to the car, pulls out a gun, and just shoots a kid.
I think it's crazy that you're going to have to teach this to your kids. But teach your kids different stuff, how to wash their clothes and how to, do not necessarily do their taxes, but where to go to get, account, do that type of stuff. And also teach them, if you shoot somebody, they're going to die and they're not going to come back. Luckily, these 2 kids did not die. But, I just don't think that people realize now
the severity.
Yeah. When you kill someone, they're gone forever. That's it. It's over.
Especially at 11 years old.
It is bananas.
I keep trying to drive in my son's head the fact that if you have an accident, if you had 1 too many drinks and you're not drunk, you don't think you're drinking, you try to drive and you have an accident and you kill somebody, you're going to jail for the rest of your life. But I was fine isn't going to hold up anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean, and thankfully that kid has never seemed to have any even close incident of that. But I keep saying it to him over and over again because I don't know that I could live through that. Do your young child going away for the rest of their life.
I remember when I was younger and I was proud of myself because I got drunk out of my gourd. I was drunkity drunk. And it was at a bar that was right by the docks and stuff. And where I parked where boats were and stuff. Well, I wound up getting a taxi home or getting a ride home or whatever. I couldn't drive. I knew I couldn't drive. Went back the next day to get my car. It was towed because they had to get the boats in the water and do the stuff. I paid for that. And I thought, you know what? Better than me killing someone or doing something crazy. Yeah.
It's crazy now because like when we were in our 20s, we didn't have Uber.
Right.
No.
Oh, it makes it so
and
easy.
all these rideshare programs.
Right.
On your phone, you hit 2 buttons and the car picks you up.
Yeah.
Right. And also, some people's parents are jagoffs and they're afraid to call them, but Joey knows he can call me. And I would be so proud of him if he called me up and he said, hey, I was drinking a little bit and I'm afraid to drive. And you called me to come get you. I would be so happy.
Oh, yeah. And you tell them anytime, day or night, doesn't matter if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, call me. I'll come to get you. It's not going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
It's so much better.
And that's the thing when you have Uber and taxis and he's got my credit card, like there's no excuse.
Yeah.
There's no excuse. I remember I had days at the Dallas Bull where I drove home to Wesley Chapel afterwards, and I think about it now, and I go, "What were you thinking?" And now, granted, I wasn't sloppy drunk, but certainly probably would have gotten blown,
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry, what?
I probably would have blew somebody to get out of it.
Speaking of that, a cop in Sacramento, in the Sacramento area, was arrested for DUI over the weekend. Ironically, he had just been by MAD in the past week for his work arresting drunk drivers.
A real hero.
Yeah, he is now on leave while the department investigates. My buddy Kevin, who does radio, he said he's doing a thing where with the mugshots, where if they do something, whatever, that he's going to give them a T-shirt, and they have the T-shirts made up like orange, like the
right.
And he said the sales lady was like, I mean, I don't want to encourage people to get arrested and this and that. And he goes, I'm not encouraging anyone. And I go, by the way, 100% she's going to be arrested now. That she's going to wind up doing something else.
Sure.
Yeah.
I people are just dumb and they're almost predicting their own fate.
Yeah, for sure. I have a hot or not for you guys.
Oh, good.
All right. So listen up. This is right up in the Panhandle, Santa Rosa County, Florida. A Navarre woman is charged with getting on a school bus without permission and then refusing to get off, according to an arrest report. Dana Stewart, who is 33 years old, was arrested last Friday on misdemeanor charges of trespassing on school property and disrupting a school function. If you don't know, school buses have cameras on it that record and stuff. So of course the police got the video, and that's why they charged this woman. So her name.
When we were kids and our school buses have cameras?
No, when we were kids, no, but now they do. Yeah. So her name is Dana Stewart. She is 33 years old. She is from Navarre, Florida, which is up in the Panhandle there. She would not get off the bus. Mike Calta.
Why was she on the bus? Do we know?
Something with her kid, something going on with the kid, and I don't know exactly the story. They didn't give all the details there, but she was
33.
Dana Stewart, Navarre, Florida. Hot or not?
I want to say hot so bad, but I feel like it's not. I'm gonna go hot.
You're gonna say hot?
Yeah.
All right, Gia, what do you think?
The reason Dana couldn't get off the bus is because she could barely fit through the door.
No.
She is not hot.
Oh boy. By the way, remind me about fitting through doors after this story, because I saw something the other day that blew my mind. Dizzy, what do you think? Dana Stewart, she's 33, up in the Panhandle of Florida. She won't get off the bus, disrupting a school function, trespassing on school property. Hot or not?
Rosa Parks did not get off the bus. She was not hot. I'm gonna say not hot.
I don't know. Rosa, when she was younger, looked pretty good. All right, so you say not hot. Gio says not hot. Mike Kelta says hot. Pap, show Bussy Busserson.
Yeah.
Hot.
She kind of looks
going anywhere.
She kind of looks like the one that just divorced Joe Jonas.
Yeah.
Right?
A little Sophie Turner action, yeah.
A little bit.
I'll take her.
I like it.
33-year-old Dana on the bus.
Although she does have like a skanky face, like skanky eyes and stuff. You know what I mean?
Nothing wrong with skanky eyes.
And for the record, this is not, is she a bad person?
No.
It's hot or not.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So the lady that we had for hot or not the other day, her kid drowned while she was on her phone at the water park. And people are commenting, oh, her kid died. She's a terrible person. No. We know she's terrible.
That's why she's in the news.
The game is hot or not.
Yeah.
That's all it is. We're not saying, obviously, she's bad. She was arrested. That's why we
You
have
can
her.
call it. is this terrible person hot or not?
Yeah. I mean, we know that they're bad. The game's hot or not.
We
That's
also
it.
are not offering them a modeling contract.
No,
yeah,
no,
they're just
no,
curious to see if they were hot or not.
Yeah. And then somebody else asked, who's putting this up?
Right.
On my Instagram, I'm putting this up. So I don't know whether you can't crack that case. Oh no, what I wanted to say about Fatty 2x4 can't fit through the bus room door. So did you see the Fatty that was saying the planes have to make their seats bigger and stuff?
No,
She's
it's so
fat.
funny. I was
Yeah.
looking up a story about that.
so,
I don't
yeah.
even know if it's the same.
So now you know what she's saying. The same woman. Hotels need to make their hallways wider.
Oh, come on.
Listen to me. I'm a
I
fat
think they
guy.
have.
I'm a fat guy. If you can't fit down a hallway, you've gone too far.
But also, what are you going to go back in and remodel the hotel you built so Fatty can get through?
Well, listen, I don't like the height of these doors. I find
Yeah,
it uncomfortable.
exactly.
I want them lower.
Yeah,
That's
Joe,
ridiculous.
Joe has to reach up for the hand.
I don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, that's not. Yeah, like, and obviously she's just an idiot, and she's doing this so people will
But
talk about her and stuff.
Can I tell you though? Let's be honest about something, okay? Skinny or not, I mean, my wife is skinny, my son is skinny, my daughter's little. Those airplane seats are insane. There's no way, and there's no way, Galvin, you're not a fat guy, you're a big guy, and you have to deal with your knees in this situation. You have to deal with the width of your shoulders.
Yeah, clearly they're doing it so they can fit more seats in and fit more people so they can make more money and do all that
But
stuff.
if you took out 2 seats on the airplane, 2 seats, you probably can move the rest of them a couple of inches to just make it a little bit more comfortable for everybody.
Yeah, and I don't even know whether the airplane thing is that bad of an argument. You know,
Yeah.
for a lady. I mean, obviously she's too fat really for a car or for an airplane or any of this stuff. She's just really fat. But once you start saying hallways and stuff, you've lost all credibility.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're the kind of person that they have to take a wall down to get you out of that
yeah,
house.
exactly.
If you're going to change anything, not hotels, not airplanes, stadium and arena seating.
They're ridiculous.
Raymond James Stadium, the seats are so tiny, you can barely even move.
Or bathrooms on the cruises.
That's it.
So with the theater seats, where did I go the other day where I sat in the seat? Oh, I went to the Hall of Presidents. I looked at that seat and I was like, oof, but it wasn't so bad. But I also didn't have somebody to the right and then to the left of me. My hips hit the bars going down, getting in the seat.
These hips don't lie.
Right. The hips were screaming the truth at me. But the truth is that if there was somebody next to me, now just my arm width, my shoulder width is already impeding in their space.
What was the biggest problem for you at the Buck Stadium? Is it the seats in front of you or the width of the actual seat?
Both.
Oh, really?
Like my knees would hit almost like the back of the seat. It's so because even at Amalie Arena, I was just there. I went to the Lightning game over the weekend, and my knees were like hitting the back of the seat.
Yeah, it's the leg thing is a real big issue.
If you're tall, it's really not.
I wonder if they could build the stadium almost to like where it's leaning forward a little to drop it so that your legs have more room to go.
The Bucks games last year, there was a larger woman that was in front of me, and she was just like pouring out of the seat to where she had to like lean back, and like her arm was like hanging over the side. And at one point, her elbow dipped into my drink.
Oh, come on.
That's when I decided not to renew my season
Salty.
tickets.
I mean, you don't want to pay to be hot and uncomfortable in your seat. You don't expect them to redesign the whole stadium, but you're not a fat guy. We make fun of you. Carmen makes fun of you, but you're not a fat guy.
I'm also not like skinny. I'm just a
Right, average. You're very
Yeah.
average.
She was huge, and I'm like, I almost felt bad. I'm like, oh man, she can't fit in the damn seat.
No, it's. I gotta tell you, I feel awful for women. I am a particularly content person, so once I get in a seat somewhere and I'm there, I'm not moving and I'm fine. But the truth is I am more concerned with how I affect other people than I am myself.
Yeah.
Like especially on planes, I always fly first class for comfort reasons altogether. So at first class, I'm like, fine, I could sit there and put my legs up and all this stuff. But if I have to fly coach for something and I'm sitting next to a stranger, the entire time I either have my arms folded or my hands like this because I don't want my shoulders to be in their space. I'm just a big guy. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
And already, and they don't deserve it because they paid for their flight. But then what do you want me to do? I can't control the width of my shoulders.
Dizzy. What are these guys talking about?
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying, Diz?
One's Dizzy and Joe get in their car seats. They're fine.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Problem.
I'll never forget my friend Jamie's a midget, and one day we were playing poker, and Jamie was too drunk to drive. He's like, "Hey, can you give me a ride home? And one of the other guys goes, no, I'll take you home. I got the car seat in the back. Yeah, no, I really am. The story that I was pulling up is a girl who's got some TikTok fame has an article on BuzzFeed today about how difficult it is to travel. This is the other thing, the tray table for your seat. I've never for any size of my life been able to pull that tray table down, and anybody that I ever sit next to, even they have a hard time. Like nobody could put a laptop on the tray table because the tray table is just like right up to their body.
When I went to Germany, I dropped my fork and it was gone. I couldn't get it.
Yeah.
I didn't finish my meal because I couldn't get the fork because we were so crushed in there. I'm like, it's gone
Slam
forever.
your face into the plate.
Yeah, no, I just gave up on my spaghetti and meatballs.
It wasn't small in there. You're big in there.
I don't fly American Airlines a lot just because United and Delta are the ones that fly out of here the most. And I flew American to go to New York this last time, and I don't think I've ever been in a smaller bathroom. I could not do number one appropriately because my head wouldn't allow me to get close enough to the toilet. Not my body, not my. I mean, I just faced the toilet. And I went to move a little forward, and my head hit the ceiling. So you can't duck under it because it's built on an angle. It was so weird. The other bathrooms, I'm at least able to stand in the bathroom. I've only crapped on a plane one time, and that was because I was on a plane for 14 hours, and it was Japan, and it was like a handicap-sized bathroom. I literally could do backspins in there. It was so big. But I couldn't imagine if I had to go on that American Airlines, if I had a poop, I don't know that I'd be able to even wipe my butt. I mean, there's just no room. There's no room to do anything.
Now is probably a good time for me to tell people this, especially with Halloween coming up and people hanging stuff and, decorations and doing all that stuff. Realize that there are people that are taller than you. I love when people hang decorations so they can get under it. And meanwhile, they're like 5'6", and I come walking by and it hits me in the neck. And I'm like, hello? What's going on? Today is a few different national days. There's always a national something. Joe, you're going to like this one. Today is National Vodka Day.
Oh, I'm in.
And I think you can mix it with this. You want to go and get a little kale tonic because it's National Kale Day. Do a little kale tonic with vodka.
I'm in.
You're healthy and drunk.
I'll test it this afternoon. Let you know the results.
That's one of the things about First Watch. They serve alcoholic drinks there.
Yeah.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they do. I never got one, but they do. I guess for brunch.
Bet the kale tonic with a little vodka in there would be nice.
I think you can get the added to the actual kale tonic.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Today is also Happy National Taco Day. Taco Bell brought back its $10 Taco Lovers subscription for National Taco Day. It gets you one free taco a day for the next month, but you have to sign up today. So if you want to do it as Taco Lovers subscription at Taco Bell, they also announced they're finally adding actual breakfast tacos to their menu on October 12th, but it'll just be for a limited time.
I was so excited. I turned into Owen Wilson. I went,
It's why Carmen took the week off.
Yeah.
National Taco Day.
Wow, tacos.
Oh, good to see Dom also went to the vibe party last night.
Oh, did he?
Oh yeah,
Poser.
traders.
This is how we dominate. 80s sex symbols: Lonnie Anderson, Morgan Fairchild, Linda Gray, Donna Mills, and Nicolette Sheridan will all star in a Lifetime movie, Ladies of the 80s, a Divas Christmas.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's no word on the air date yet, but yeah, you got a whole bunch. You got Lonnie Anderson, Morgan Fairchild. Morgan Fairchild has to be close to 80.
Same thing with Lonnie Anderson. She's got to be in her 70s.
And they
right?
both look really good.
I bet. Morgan Fairchild was always one of my favorites. That pointy little nose that she had.
Yeah.
I'll never forget Danny O'Connell. We were like in 5th grade, and we were like, if you could have sex with any woman, who would it be? And I was ready to be like Morgan Fairchild, and Danny O'Connell was like, probably Gloria Peterson. I go, from our English class? I go, any girl in the whole world. And you go Gloria Peterson. All right, I'd go Morgan Fairchild.
Whoops.
What?
I spoke too soon. So Morgan Fairchild is 73 years old. I just put in Morgan Fairchild now.
Not hot?
I mean, she ate something that she's allergic to.
She got fat?
She's puffy, dude.
But she's 70-something years old. Yeah.
I get it, but she's also not.
She doesn't look much like Morgan Fairchild.
Yeah.
But she still looks attractive. Can I tell you the most amazing human being ever when it comes to age and aging is Christy Brinkley.
Oh, yeah.
Christy Brinkley, it's unbelievable how good she looks for a woman her age.
And it's unbelievable how much her daughter looks exactly like her when she was younger.
No. Which one?
Christy Brinkley.
Oh, you mean her daughter with the other guy, not Billy Joel?
Yeah, no, not the Billy
Of course,
Joel
Billy
one.
Joel's daughter's like, my mother's a supermodel, and I got all my dad's looks.
Yeah, no, the other one, because remember they were on the Sports Illustrated together,
Yeah,
and it looked like Christy Brinkley from the 80s and Christy Brinkley now.
She married a guy and had 2 kids with them, and both those kids look like her, and he was a blonde-haired dude. So I get that.
Yeah, he was he was not a basset hound like Billy Joel.
Poor Alexa Ray Joel looks just like Billy Joel, which I think she's attractive. I think she's adorable, but she's not the supermodel her mother is.
Right.
You know?
MovieWeb.com put together a list of the most expensive horror movies ever made. I have some of the different ones here. If you want to try and guess some, you
Most
can.
expensive?
Yeah, so they say horror movies, but I would combine like any kind of scary movie, really. So it's not like the B movie.
So like a thriller movie as well?
You can put that in there, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Some of the ones that had like scary elements to it, zombie stuff, vampire stuff.
Based on actors and stuff too?
Yeah. I mean, it's the most expensive, because of the budget.
Trying to think of who, because Halloween had Jamie Lee Curtis when she was famous.
Yeah, but that was one of her.
No, I'm talking about the later ones.
Yeah, okay.
You had Rob Zombie direct one. You had Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean, that's got to cost money. What about Silence of the Lambs?
Silence of the Lambs, no,
because that had
not in there.
Expensive cast.
Anthony Hopkins, Jodie Foster, all that. Alien Covenant in 2017 was 97 million.
Oh my
so
God.
just to make that movie, it was a lot in there, and different stars and stuff. They have a tie for number 6, has 3 different ones in here. End of Days in 1999. What Lies Beneath?
Okay.
In 2000.
That's the Harrison Ford one.
Yeah, and Michelle Pfeiffer, I believe.
Michelle Pfeiffer and then Amber Valletta.
And Day Shift in 2022 was $100 million. Prometheus was $130 million. I Am Legend with Will Smith in 2007 cost $150 million.
I don't know why, but I think that's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, but I don't know why. I'm
got to be so much better with somebody other than Will Smith.
I thought Will Smith did a really good job. Yeah, he did. I get you, but
You know
he
why
did
you
a
like
good
that
job.
movie, Michael?
Why?
Because you're alone. You like the idea of doing it on your own.
I think I do like the idea, not that being alone, but the idea that he was able to have all the resources in the world that he wanted to in the day to fortify his fortress.
Yeah.
When he goes hunting in the Mustang in the middle of it. Yeah, that's so good though. That's it makes you realize, you're like, whoa, this is wild.
Yeah.
The part was with the dog though.
Oh
yeah, for sure.
Why even bring it up?
But they really did. I mean, that showed you what a good actor he was, because the dog was the only other cast member. That movie was predictive because it had the Superman Batman movie logo in there before that movie was ever mentioned.
Van Helsing came in number 2 with $160 million budget.
Jackman.
And number 1 had a big star in it. Very famous guy, very handsome. World War Z.
Oh, Brad Pitt.
Which is a great movie. Great movie. It had a budget of $190 million.
That whole scene of the guys in Israel trying to climb up that wall. And you know what's so funny is in that movie they go, Israel knew years ago that's why they built that wall around the city, and you're like, oh man, is that really happening?
Dude, when they are on the airplane and in the back they start zombieing out, and they try and put the luggage up to try and block it and stuff, and the one falls and the zombie turns and it's over. It is you're on a plane. What do you do?
Brad Pitt, he's so good in that movie.
He really is.
He's sometimes his looks are distracting, but he's really a good actor.
Jamie Lynn Spears, you're out. She got sent home last night on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, I didn't even know she was on the Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, so she's already out.
Oh, I couldn't imagine what you were going to say. Did you get canceled or something?
No, she's out of Dancing with the Stars. Beyonce, her Renaissance tour. Did your wife go to that or no?
She didn't go to this one. No, she went to the one prior.
Well, the Renaissance tour grossed $579 million. Which Taylor Swift probably laughs at.
Right.
Yeah. She was like, I made that last weekend. Ridiculous.
But they're making that into a movie where you can go see in the movie theater now, which I think is a pretty good thing that they're doing.
Well, the Taylor Swift Eras Tour thing comes out this month.
I would not go to the Taylor Swift movie in the movie theaters, but I would watch it here because I do like her music and I don't want to go to the concert. I'm too old for that.
And I like to watch any musician stuff, whatever. Like even like with Jay-Z, he has Tony Roaster Jr. playing drums for him, who's an incredible drummer.
His
and
stuff,
to watch that band play, for sure.
that I know a lot of people don't like that album, but that album that Linkin Park and Jay-Z did together, the documentary that goes along with that is fantastic.
Great.
Yeah.
I will watch pretty much anything. Is if you're showing me musicians in the studio playing and recording this, I'll watch it. I don't care what genre it is. Aaron Rodgers was on with Pat McAfee talking about the Jets and the Chiefs and stuff, and he came up with a special little nickname from Travis Kelce. Did you see this?
I did. Oh yeah.
We have some audio and video taking a listen to this. Here's Aaron Rodgers on talking about Travis Kelce.
I think there's some sentiment that there's some sort of moral victory out there that we hung with the champs and that our defense played well and Pat didn't have a crazy game and Mr. Pfizer, we kind of shut him down a little bit. He didn't have like crazy impact game. Obviously he had some yards and stuff, but I felt like for the most part we played really tough on defense because the last 3 quarters and that was important for us offensively.
You can stop there.
We got some ways to go.
So you see Pat and the other guys
right away. This is gonna go viral.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because Travis Kelce did the commercial for Pfizer and stuff. Yeah, and you see a ton of those commercials obviously during the Chiefs game and everything. So he called him obviously Aaron Rodgers against the vaccines and stuff. So
I think that's
Pfizer.
great. I love a little John like that. Anytime you work wrestling into.
By the way, Aaron Rodgers' face, like you said, he knows as soon as he says it, and you see McAfee put his hand like to cover up, but Aaron Rodgers, the rest of the thing, he's like smirking while he's talking. It's great.
I really like Pat McAfee. I enjoy his show.
He does a good job.
So great though is that he came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I mean nobody knew Pat McAfee as a football player. I'm not nobody, but he came on so strong as a podcast personality. He's great.
By the way, looking at Pat McAfee, you go punter. That's a punter,
right?
Yeah, he's a big dude. Inspired by the death of Jimmy Buffett, our friend Brett Michaels got a spot above his hip checked, and apparently it turned out to be skin cancer.
Oh, wow. Poor Brett Michaels, they're trying to kill him.
Yeah, they really are. But he had it removed. He said he's doing well. He posted some photos on his Instagram and stuff. So good luck with that, Brett Michaels. And finally in news, they have Forbes put out a list, the top 20. What is this for? It's different people that are in the Forbes list of the 400 richest Americans. Okay.
Oh, I saw one who made the list.
I saw one that got kicked off the list.
So I don't have like all of them, but I'll go through some of the top ones. You can probably guess some of the top ones, but one of the big ones, Michael Jordan, has made bank over the years with his playing the NBA and his endorsement deals and other business ventures. But after selling his stake of the Charlotte Hornets earlier this year, he bumped his fortune way up. He is now worth about $3 billion.
Insane.
He should be.
He's the first athlete to make the Forbes list of the 400 richest Americans. He comes in out of 400, 379.
Wow.
So he's on the list.
So I imagine Jeff Bezos is number one.
No, you're wrong.
What?
Yeah, who else would be number one?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Oh, I thought they were neck and neck.
Again, with his net worth of $251 billion. Yeah, that's actually the same as he had last year.
Yeah.
$251 billion.
Yeah. So he bought.
No wonder why he bought Twitter.
Right.
And
he's back up to where he was.
You're bored.
Yeah.
Well, how much was Twitter?
I'd
40 million or
something. No, it was more than
He
that.
reached in his pocket and threw a handful of change at them and said, "Give me Twitter."
Yeah, what was
ruin it?
4 billion, maybe?
Maybe, yeah, that sounds more
4
like
billion?
44 billion.
44 billion.
44 billion.
Yeah.
Well, that's a waste. I mean, it is. You still have hundreds of billions of dollars left, but that's a waste of money.
It's a fun toy. You
take it. Put
do
it in
whatever
the
you
trunk.
want.
$44 billion.
He's not
Just
missing
get
that
a bunch
money.
of jerk offs to get on there anonymously and talk crap about each other.
Donald Trump dropped off the list
That's
this
what
year,
I'm saying, Donald Trump.
continuing what has been a pretty bad 2023 for him. The cutoff to make this year's list was 2.9 billion.
Oh,
So
I just missed.
yeah. Top
What about
20
do they judge her by your refrigerators?
No, I don't think that. I think that's a different one. That might be GE magazine. This is
Some
Forbes.
girl asked me if I would give a video tour of the refrigerators, and I'd love to do that. I just wish I had a video guy.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
The top 20 includes all the usual suspects. You have Jeff Bezos, you have Mark Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, and of course the Walton family that owns Sam's Clubs and Walmart and all that stuff, and the Koch family.
Yeah.
Not Coca-Cola, Koch, the guys that are political guys, the brothers Koch. Notable names further down the list includes Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, Patriots owner Robert Kraft. You have George Lucas on there, Steven Spielberg, and WWE boss Vince McMahon.
Still.
Yeah.
Oh, because he sold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's sold. Yeah.
I watched the 30 for 30 on the XFL last night.
Oh,
Did you
yeah?
see that?
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
It's a really good one.
They do
I-
such a good job with those 30 for 30s.
I forgot about the head-to-head that he had with Bob Costas, and where they were like nose to nose.
Oh,
And
yeah.
McMahon goes,
Didn't he snatch the script? out
no,
of
but
his
he,
hand
go,
and
he
just-
goes, I just thought to myself, 6'3", 265 pounds, and he's a diminutive man. I can't hit him. And then they interviewed him, now, and they made him watch it, and he goes, I just wish he was bigger. I wanted to hit him so
A
bad.
diminutive man.
He's a diminutive
What a
man.
great description.
Yeah.
that is it for news.
All right. Thank you, Galvin. We got to take a break.
Don't forget 4 minutes until the
4
bonus.
minutes. So Dizzy, pop it in during the commercial if you have to.
Sounds good.
All right. So Dizzy will give you the bone bonus keyword. For those of you who don't know, and clearly some of you still don't, you're going to hear that keyword and you're going to put it in the app, the Bone app. You still have plenty of time to download it if you haven't done that.
Free.
Yep. And when we come back from break, we will have one of the original 6 owners of Hooters, Ed Drosty, a longtime friend of mine, and Bob Passwaters, who also works for Hooters, although I don't know what he does. We're going to find all that out today. And what else? There was some. My high school pictures are up on our Instagram.
I saw.
They're beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
What
if, you want,
happened?
if you would like to see them, you can go to our Instagram at the Mike Calta Show. If you ever looked at me and said, I wonder what he looked like in a sweater vest, today's the day for you to find out at the Mike Calta Show.
And then open letter later on.
We will not leave you without an
Yeah.
open letter today. We'll take a quick break. The original Hooters turns 40 this year. Ed Drosty in the studio with us next on 102.5 The Bone. It's the Mike Calta Show. It's 8:05 at 102.5 The Bone. We got a lot going on this weekend in town. Saturday night, Chicago is going to be playing at the Sound in Clearwater, and it is a celebration of Hooters' 40th anniversary. And in the studio with us is one of the owners of Hooters, is Ed Drosty, and Bob Passwaters, who does something at Hooters, but we don't know exactly what that
He's
is.
a cook, I think.
He doesn't know either.
I was just thinking about it where I could say Ed I know is one of the owners, and then I'm like, I don't know. Bob is like he's the consigliere of Hooters.
There you go.
I don't know. I don't know exactly. Now, Bob, were you in the Bucks communication office at one
Yeah, I
point?
was marketing director for the Bucks.
Marketing director. Okay.
John McVay's last year, then Lehman Bennett's 2 and 14 year.
These were before me. That's why
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
move here until 89.
Yeah.
So I moved here in 89, and I'm a big Howard Stern fan. I'm a big radio fan, but I'm a big Howard Stern fan. And I think there will be nothing as good as that show. And I stumble upon Ron and Ron, and I instantly dislike them because Howard Stern has trained us to believe that anybody that does a good show has ripped him off. And and lo and behold, that turned out to not be true. There are other funny people in the world. And then Ron and Ron start growing on me and become one of my all-time, I think, a motivator for me to get into radio. And one of the things I learned I knew about 18-year-old, I was more excited to be able to get shrimp and oysters than I was to see half-naked girls, because I grew up in New York, and you couldn't just roll up into a place and get shrimp and oysters. It just didn't work that way in Staten Island. So now I'm in this restaurant surrounded by these girls eating this food, and I realize I really do love Florida. Florida's been great to me. Then I hear Ed's name get dropped around by Ron Diaz a couple of times. So I start, learning the characters of the town and the people on the show. And then of course Lynn and BL, and I'm into it now. And then I live in Newport Richey, which had at the time the greatest Hooters ever on the water. I mean, people would come up on their boats. The girls are gorgeous. The food is great. The weather was beautiful. I mean, what more could you ask for? And then Hooters just grows beyond leaps and bounds all these years. And I eventually get in radio and I get to meet both of you guys. And I've had a relationship with you since 1996, I think. And at one point worked for you when I had gotten fired and worked for the Hooters girls. And that I will never forget. That was a great opportunity for me to get back in radio. On the worst show I've ever worked on, but get back in radio. But I'll tell you what, though, if you want to be a producer and you want to be good at it, work with 3 girls and work with them. Don't work against them. Work with 3 girls and try to get them all on the same page and do the same thing. That was a good task for me to really learn how to book guests, how to deal with talent. I learned a lot from those years that I was with them.
Oh, Mike, those were great years.
Yeah.
And that was when we started taking their show on the road. Remember when they signed a contract, we had a party. They wanted to have a party at our Tampa store. And we got a big old semi and put a spotlight on an easel when they signed their contract. And you walked in like it was an iconic thing, and it packed it. So we started doing that. We went to Port Richey, and they got so noisy that I got charged for disturbing the peace. I had to go into court.
Oh, really?
And then Bennington just kind of brought the girls under his wing. But
yeah,
I remember when you were kind of producing the show.
Oh, yeah.
And they get into an argument on the air, and then BL would take off crying.
Every day.
And then Lynn would call her, and we're driving down the road, and she'd be in a drive-through getting a hamburger, of course, bawling. And
it was the dynamic between, so it was Lynn Austin, who is the original Hooters girl and is a celebrity. Like Lynn, whether you know her or not, you know her pictures, but also is not dumb. You expect a girl who's the original Hooters to be a dumb blonde, and she is the furthest from it. She's a businesswoman. She's smart. She's a manipulator. And BL is her best friend, but the complete opposite. Not that she's not smart. I'm just saying that they were, she was the goofy one.
Yeah.
And the two of them together was good and bad, but that made for great content and made for great radio. Them insulting each other always made me laugh. I was telling them the other day, we feel old when the first time he got sirred. And I said, when anybody would say something to the chicks and one of them would go, yes, ma'am, they'd go, oh, you got ma'ams. Ma'am was the worst thing. You can call them sluts. They wouldn't care. You call them ma'am. They would be very angry. If we can go back, I don't really know. And I didn't read the article in full today because I don't want to know. There's an article on the front page of the St. Pete Times or Tampa Bay Times today about Hooters and Ed. And now what did you do before Hooters?
I'm still doing it. Real estate management, managed condominiums and then resort condominiums. Sailport on Rocky Point was one of our first projects.
Okay.
And some of the contractors that were working on that project, we'd do that thing where we'd go out, we need a joint, because there were only Fern bars then. Bennigan's, Chili's, all that, Steak and Ale, that was all you had. And we came from the Midwest. All of us said, look, can't we do a neighborhood thing? And what if we added a beach component to that?
Yeah.
Right. And so that's what, and we're doing what guys do, sitting around. Well, hey, we got to have this, and then one of them, LD Stewart, sampled some chicken wings down in Fort Lauderdale that said we got to have them on our menu.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So Buffalo wings really weren't a
Buffalo was the first to do wings, and they
right.
still are. But the Anchor Bar stayed little. We'd go up for Jim Kelly's tournament all the time, but they never did a chain thing. So, and there was a place called Tarks. We give them credit down Fort Lauderdale, where my manager says you got to come down and see this place. And there was a little gas station that I saw limousines and I saw pickup trucks. This isn't a bad mix. So, they said I wasn't a foodie, but Gil D. John and Tony, my partner and LD, never had a restaurant.
Yeah.
And so they started experimenting with the wings, and we said, well, and oyster rolls. Let's throw.
Were they in the restaurant business at all? They were all.
Nobody. I was a head waiter at a sorority house at Iowa State. but Gil sold liquor, and LD was a contractor, and Denny Johnson and Ken Wimmer worked with LD, and then Uncle Billy was the senior guy. And nobody. In fact, the night we opened, and actually this is 40 years today.
Right. Wow.
LD Stewart, we had it open because we didn't have any customers because we didn't have a marketing budget. So we just had it on his birthday. He turns 80 today.
Oh, wow.
And we had to call a buddy of mine who owned a Chicken Unlimited to come over and show us how to light the fryer.
That guy is walking around going, I lit the first fryer at Hooters.
It's so funny because every group of guys sits around and goes, we should open a bar or do a restaurant, but you guys actually pulled the trigger on doing it.
And you know, it's like I get a lot of things that, you know, we have over 400,000 young women now that have worked for us over these years.
Wow.
But one of the things I get pride on is that we're one of the few that about the same time there was another concept out of Minnesota somewhere, but we're one of the first to take it nationwide.
Right.
And last Super Bowl, I think that on Super Bowl Sunday, they sold 1.7 billion wings.
Oh, holy cow.
I mean, not just us.
Yeah.
And you know, wings are what they used to throw away when we opened.
Yeah. So you open up the original Hooters, it's a hit right away.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
Oh,
no.
really?
Oh, God, no. Oh, no, that was miserable. Nobody came in. Two plumbers and a carpenter, and I'd see their car get all, and I get all excited because we had Lynn Austin there looking great. The 4 girls we'd hired off the beach. They're going, hey, I thought we were going to make money, and literally 3 guys in there, and then my partners would get mad because I'd pick up their tab. I was so glad to see them. Right?
People in there.
Yeah, no, that's when I did the chicken costume, you know, in the street, and swam out and painted a boat that sunk in 60. But the turnaround for us was the Super Bowl, that Raiders Redskins game. Yeah.
But even that, Hooters wasn't close to the stadium. You had to really do something to get people over there.
Yeah, and that was by accidental. Well, we had a Super Bowl charity. We always, you know, if you're going to be a neighborhood joint, you got to give back to the neighborhood. So we had a charity thing the week before that nobody showed up for in the parking lot. So now I'm really in hot water with my partners. And then the Redskins came to town, and a guy named Riggins. Wandered in and kind of liked the wings and especially liked the girls.
Yeah.
And he didn't leave. We were sitting in there on Saturday before the Super Bowl. He's sitting there eating tons of oysters. And Howard Cosell's on the air saying, he skipped practice. Nobody can the day before.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
So when in that point it started picking up a little bit.
You know, we thought that they were going to win, so he wanted to have the whole Super Bowl party back in the store.
Yeah.
And I don't know how this got out. Bob wasn't even. Maybe he was involved in. Somebody leaked it to the press. I don't know how that happened. But, and so we were all excited. We're gonna have this big Redskins party, and they got killed.
Yeah.
And but so we're thinking, well, that's it. But a lot of Raiders came in. Then 3 limousines pull up, and all the Redskins pour out of the limo.
Sure.
So then that
what better way to drown your sorrows?
And that got covered pretty extensively. And from then on, you know, and then Lynn getting in Playboy a year or 2 didn't hurt either.
So how much success had to go on before Playboy took a notice of Lynn? I mean, she's only in one restaurant in Tampa.
Yeah.
Not such a big market. I mean, what was there only one store still open when she was in there?
Yeah. And then, Lakeland was the second one. And then a week after we opened Lakeland about a year or 2 later.
Lakeland was the second one.
We had a race. We had a bet with the guys who had the rights to that we gave them a license. Hugh Connor to here. But, and we had a bet because we were doing Tampa about the same time, and they beat us by a week. So that's
kidding.
But Lynn, actually, I sent out promotional pictures, and I just sent them to every magazine.
Yeah.
And Playboy came back and says, "Well, we like your restaurant, but we really like this girl."
Yeah.
And then she is a loyal, not only talented but very loyal. And she says, "Okay, I'll do it, but I want Hooters mentioned in it." And then the whole article is all Hooters.
I remember. I've seen it.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. Playboy, you know, for those of you young kids listening, the magazine before the internet was the way to go, and it had the hottest, the most beautiful women in the world and celebrities, and it was a big deal. And if you got on Playboy, that was something that people talked about. They put you on a late night talk show host to promote the Playboy. I mean,
there was an article with that.
Articles and everything. So okay, so then it starts doing well, and now what year would you say was the first year that you were like, this is happening?
In the late 80s, then I look back, we have a thing, a wall of shame history in the original store, and sometimes I go to it and I forget. The 90s, late 80s and 90s just exploded.
Yeah.
Everything we did, you know, we had a Hooters Arena football team. We had a hula
race
bowl.
car.
We had Alan Kowicki in 92 at the Hooters 500, which was 170,000 people because it was Richard Petty's last race. And he won the Winston Cup at the race. And we had, like I said, arena football team. In fact, the funny part is the guy who actually won the race was Bill Elliott.
Right.
But Alan got enough points for leading laps that he won the Winston Cup at it. Now our star race car driver is Chase Elliott,
Oh,
his son.
no
So,
kidding.
small world, and he won the cup a couple of years ago.
So I don't want to be too invasive, but when you're doing construction and real estate stuff, are you loaded at the time? Like, do you have a lot of money? Were you making a lot of money on that? Did you have family money? I don't know.
What do you think?
Yeah.
No, we scraped it together. And LD Stewart did it by the seat of his pants. It was a dive, you know.
Were any of the 6 guys you are like long after you're gone, Hooters is going to win your own Vegas casino?
Yeah.
I mean, the money that was amassed over those years is incredible, and the fact that you guys keep reinventing and doing stuff to keep it alive, I think is brilliant.
Well, it's a refreshing concept, and that's built into the DNA. You know, there's a lot of imitators, and frankly, there were some franchisees of ours that just couldn't get the combination. That keep it lighthearted, keep the food. By the way, credit to my partners. The food, the attention to that. Gil is he throws salads against the wall if they weren't made right. You know? And
that's smart because the food is consistently good. Yeah.
So that gives it longevity. The other fun thing is that there really are no two alike. You know, we've got big boxes up in Chicago that seat 900, 700. And when we were in Manhattan before the COVID, you know, we had a 2-story one right across.
Manhattan was great.
Yeah. And so that variety and refreshing, but we'll try things like the casino. But you mentioned a movie, you know, we've had 3 false starts on that, but
oh really?
Well, we thought we had something going with the Baywatch guys. We actually had a good run with the Happy Madison, you know, because
you were in the Big Daddy.
Yeah, and there was another one.
You know, you told me one time, I said to you, I said, how much did you have to pay to get in that movie? Do you want me to tell you? And I said, and you said, not 1 penny.
Not one.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that movie is all Hooters plugs.
There's another one too. I can't remember the name of it. Starring I'll find it. I like it as well as that he's in. That he stars with this same co-star.
Oh, is it Chuck and Larry?
No, it's about a couple that he lost his wife and they fall in love in Hooters. That kind of. It's a comedy.
Yeah. I have to tell you that I think that is so great. I feel like I grew up. This is part of my childhood, even though I wasn't really a child. But so to see what it's become, and so let me ask you, how the imitators. I mean, obviously, you see something that's going to be successful. Yeah. You're like, we gotta take a piece of this. These guys are killing it.
Yeah.
Was Wing House the first one?
Oh no, there were dozens before that.
Was it the first successful one?
Yeah, yes and no.
I used to do gigs at places, and I would go to Wing House sometimes, and I didn't mind it.
Yeah,
but it literally, I mean, a blind man could see it was Hooters.
Yeah,
I mean, you had wooden stools, you had the same shorts, you had all the food was the same. I mean, there was a way to kind of steal, and there's a way to copy.
They did their first calendar that they did imitating us had Lynn and BL's birthdays in it because they took the birthdays from our calendar. But no, you know, the first one was melons, and there was knockers, and there was melons. So fun, much so that my partner Danny Johnson and I got tired of everybody saying, well, you know, you're not going to do well there. You know, at that place a lot of things have gone under. And we just kept hearing that, so we put a picket fence out in front and put tombstones with the names of all the businesses. and then when Melons opened up, we put a Melons tombstone right out in front just to say, because it's like, that's it. There was a time we thought we'd have to look over our shoulder. Hey, they're doing this, we got to do that. He said, no.
But isn't that, I mean, there has to be, I believe there was a lawsuit, wasn't there? Because there is a difference. You could say Melons, but Wing House, which I'm not trying to hate on Wing House. I'm just saying that it was very obvious that they didn't just borrow; they stole the entire concept. Is exactly the same.
It was so black and white. We had to do surveys for the lawsuit. But see, then we owned the trademark, but the group that sued was our licensees at that time.
Okay,
and they're good buddies, but they didn't do a very good job of prosecuting it all. And because they did studies, and 82% they go in malls and show you interiors and menus, and 80% of the people, when they showed them a Wing House, then that's a Hooters. That's Hooters.
Yeah.
So it was an open and shut. And then they got cute in the trial, and they put a female manager on right out of the blocks. And the other side took that for 8 hours and grilled her about, now, is this a trademark violation? Is that a trademark violation? And, you know, that's something that a person, a great manager, but you can't, that's hard to go through. And the judge stopped the trial and said,
You know what else, Mike? You know, international. I know you travel. We're in several countries. We're in Prague. We're in all these other.
So that blows my mind because I can never understand like bands. I understand music's universal. Friends of mine who are comedians that are like, oh, I'm going to Iceland next week. Iceland, who? Or going to places where they don't even really speak the language, and you're like, how are you doing this? But you'd be surprised, and you know, they want American concepts so much. What is the most successful international one?
Mexico's got
Oh,
20 some
Mexico.
stores, you know, and throughout the.
Where did I sleep in the bathroom? Was that Mexico? At
Yeah,
Hooters?
yeah.
Yeah, I slept in the bathroom at Mexico. Had a little too much to drink in the sun.
I have slept in the bathroom twice when I traveled with Bob Passwaters because we didn't have a lot of money back in those days, and he would snore. So I would go in and stuff down. Step under the cracks of the deal and
Right.
sleep on the floor. And then we finally got breathers to put on his forehead or put on his nose and wake up and they'd up all of his forehead.
Oh man. So okay, so now we're international,
Yeah.
we're killing it here.
Yeah.
People are franchising everybody. I mean, once one of the girls, I think a Hooters girl that was recruiting in New York,
Yeah.
told me she would stand on the streets and hand out flyers, look at approach beautiful girls and say here, and she said, I didn't really see a lot of beautiful girls. I saw one walking down the street from a mile away, and when she got closer, I went right up to her and I said, hey, I work for Hooters. And it was Carmen Electra.
Oh, God. Well, you know, a lot of those, you know, tons of those have worked in Hooters. You know,
Oh yeah.
Nina Wells was a Hooters girl in
Yep.
Tampa. You know,
Yep.
she loves it, and it was great times. You
Oh,
know?
if you could snag a spring training boyfriend at that point, that original Hooters right there was a spot to go to find a husband.
We're famous internationally, but you guys are famous in my office.
Oh, yeah.
My accountant Karen listens to you every morning, and then we don't have to start work till probably 10 o'clock.
I love it. And this makes me very proud because, like I said, listening to you on the radio when I was a kid and now having a relationship and having you guys in the air, one of the nicest things you ever did. And this is why Ed is so great at marketing, because Bob probably thought of it, but Ed stole the idea. I was on the air one time when I worked at Bubba, and I said, you know, you've made it in this town when they wish you a happy birthday on the Hooters marquee at the original Hooters.
Yeah.
And a year later, Ed wrote it down and remembered and put it up on the marquee.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, that was the greatest thing in the world for me. I just was like, this is awesome. Yeah, that was something else, man. I mean, to be associated with you guys was great. What is now? Now in comes Tom Frederick. What does he own? The Hooters of America?
He's a stockholder in the group that has recently acquired the controlling interest. Yeah.
His son played hockey with my
Oh,
son
really?
a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And it was really weird because, you know, Facebook keeps suggesting that you be friends with somebody, and they
Yeah.
keep showing me Tom, and I have no idea who he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know this guy, but Facebook wants us to be friends so bad. Next day I go to a Starbucks and there goes Tom walking by. I go, there's that guy from Facebook. Then a couple of days later, I'm in hockey. I'm like, I go, I'm just gonna go talk to him. So I went up and I said, hi. Facebook really wants us to be friends. I go, I've seen you a bunch of times.
Oh, yeah.
So we start talking and we hit it off. And he had just gotten in with the Hooters thing. So he reaches in his pocket and he gives me some coupons. He goes, hey, I just got into Hooters. He said, take this, go. And I reached into my pocket and pulled out my VIP card and I said, I don't need it, buddy. I don't need it.
That's why we had to get him one shortly after that, I think.
And that was the other thing. Bob got me a Hooters card back in the late 90s. And to me, that was better than it was better than a black card. I didn't even care about the discount. I just wanted to be able to have it and be able to be a part of that group, to have that Hooters VIP card.
Do you know when they pulled O.J. Simpson over, right? He had a disguise, $10,000, something else, his passport, and his Hooters VIP. They fit in there. Yeah.
That is so funny. So now here we are 40 years later, and a big celebration on Saturday night. Chicago is playing down at the Sound in Clearwater. I love Chicago. Never seen them live. At all the bands and all the concerts I've been, I've never seen them. I'm really looking forward to being there.
When you hear that brass starting out.
Yeah.
Well, and the cool thing there, I mean, the fun part about this was, you know, if we're a neighborhood, we got to do stuff for the neighbors.
Yeah.
And the money, the beneficiaries, Moffitt Cancer Center and Morton Plant. Moffitt is so phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean,
Everybody knows somebody that's been helped by Moffitt.
And they're growing, and they're led by a guy who's probably Patrick Hu. He's the CEO, and he's probably the leading immunology oncologist in the world.
Wow.
And he also plays keyboard.
Oh, really?
So his band, which is made up of their docs, are opening for the
that's great.
Chicago at 7:00.
That's awesome.
But then when you hear that Chicago brass,
Yeah.
oh man,
Yeah, I grew up listening to that music, and I think they're phenomenal. And I've never gotten to see them, so I'm looking forward to this now. In all the years, oh, I know what I'm going to ask you about. The year that they tried to force guys to be waiters.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I think what you guys did, it shows just how brilliant you are to the marketing that went around that. Like, how do you sit there and decide, hey, we're just going to hit this head on and we're going to do it like this? Like, you never took anything too seriously.
Yeah, and you know what? Desperation's a wonderful motivator.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, literally, we didn't have any choices. We didn't have a lot of money even then, really. And there were nobody who wanted to be allies, who wanted to go in and go out on the line nationwide for Hooters.
Yeah.
Right. So that was our big, it came down to, we had to punt or get off because they wanted us, they wanted $27 million. They wanted us to fire half of our female staff, hire guys, and then report to them for 10 years.
Yeah.
And we were not going to be in business after that. So we picked the date, I think, November 15th or something. And I had to sign all the paperwork that I was not an insurrectionist and all this. And we took over that Freedom Plaza, and we were rolling all of our dice, bought ads, put the guy on the billboard.
The guy on the billboard was brilliant.
Sent 50,000 Frisbees to Washington to all the senators, congressmen that save our Hooters, right? And that 2 days before we're doing all this, Congress, they shut down the government. Clinton and Gingrich couldn't. So we figured, oh, screwed. We're dead, right?
Yeah.
Got up that morning. We had a press conference, went over to the deal, and there was nothing going on in the National Press Club. And it was mob because there was nothing else to talk about.
Right.
The government was shut down.
How lucky
So we're on
that.
every network.
That is so great.
Yeah.
I think that you guys have handled so many of those things so brilliantly, and just each what looks like might be a setback ends up being more promotion for you guys.
Well, there's a lot to the imaging. You know, it was like Cure for the Common. Oh no, it was the that's our casino, Cure for the Common Casino. But well, it was how to get our point across without pissing off the people that we're trying to settle with. You know, so we've thread that needle. And the outcry was out. 900 papers took our position on the on the arguments. Yeah.
How hard is it now in the world with everybody being woke and people getting canceled? You feel like Hooters is grandfathered in where nobody's going to mess with you guys anymore?
You just can't ever take it for granted.
No,
we're very, and that's something else. Our staff, our headquarters, our operation are in Clearwater, right by the original store. They have the most human relations, human interest, dialogue with our front of the house and the back of the house and customer service. They work that 24/7 behind. You wouldn't recognize, you wouldn't think a little joint, but it's overwhelming the amount of time they spend on that constructively.
I've met a Hooters waitress or two in my years, and I don't find anybody to say bad things. I think most people that work there, most of the girls enjoyed their time. It is very family-like for them, and obviously it's like being in a sorority, and that there's some that now they'll come back for the reunions and they'll do all that stuff. I mean, I think those girls are very proud of having been a part of it.
Carmen worked there. Carmen
that's
worked
right.
on the show
Carmen
with
worked
us. Yeah, she worked there and she loved it.
Clearly, you guys lowered your standards in some cases.
They come in shy.
Yeah.
But then you can't, the peer pressure. One, you learn how to work hard. You learn how to care. You do a lot of charity, community stuff, and you come out well-rounded.
Yeah.
And I like to say 400,000 out there, and most of them are running their neighborhoods. They're running their PTAs because they learn how to be large and take charge.
Yeah.
They did a study for our casino when we were working on that. They had to verify for all the government agencies that we had to go through that our demographics and that. And we did a study in Chicago, and it came back independent that on weekends we had more women and children in the stores on Saturdays and Sundays than men.
Yeah.
And that's the girls. They would say, hey, Hooters girls make great babysitters too.
The Hooters girls, I mean, you were eating there and you'd go, I could never get this girl. She's way too hot. And then she comes over and she's nice to you and she talks to you, and she's not doing anything out of the ordinary, but she's just being a normal girl. And I think that made a lot of guys feel comfortable. They didn't feel like they were going to be talked down to. They didn't feel, they're not going to get hooking up with them, but they can have a fun, hot girl to hang out with during lunch. And I know a lot of guys that still go there and have for years will sit at the bar and drink a couple of Bud Lights while they're watching sports rather than be at home because of that environment.
Well, you must have seen Roger there. Then.
I've seen Roger
On
quite a few
occasion.
times. Yeah. That's so funny. There's guys like Roger Schulman, who is a staple of Hooters, who
Yep.
belongs there.
Yep.
And then there's the weird guy that makes the paper roses for the waitresses. That's the guy. Those are the guys you have to worry
Be
about.
careful.
This is Ed Drosty and Bob Passwaters. These are original Hooters guys. Now, what is Bob's title? What does Bob actually
What
do?
is it?
I don't know.
No, he's actually president of Provident
Provident
Advertising.
Advertising.
Okay, that's
Marketing.
the marketing. Okay.
He doesn't know what he does there either.
Yeah. Look, though, if you need to get to the boss, you got to go through the concierge to
Oh,
to
well,
figure out
and-
what's going
and
on.
Bob takes light kidding, but he gave us credibility, still does. In those early days when we had 3 or 4 stores, we'd go to our first Super Bowl and everywhere you go, hey Bob, hey
Yeah,
Bob,
yeah.
hey Bob.
Oh, you don't find a guy that says a bad thing about Bob. Nobody dislikes Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, you guys might, but I don't.
Yeah, no, and the charity stuff, he's on all these boards too, and it's kept just.
Yeah, I
involved.
wonder if people know the extent of the charity
Oh,
stuff that you guys do, breast
yeah.
cancer, and you guys do a lot.
I just stepped down after 13 years at Sharon Moffat's foundation,
Yeah.
and we do a ton of homes for Habitat for Humanity. There's pretty much every charity in the community is we either support, sponsor, or do something.
Yeah, you guys have been great. Well, I'll tell you, I enjoyed having a relationship with both of you over the years. It's opened up a lot of opportunities for me from when I was a young kid, and having you here today is a full circle kind of thing for me, because listening to you on Ron and Ron back in the day, and I still love The Godfather. Is he coming out on Saturday, Diaz?
Oh,
Does he come out?
I think he's got 2 tickets.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. The rare appearance. by
Oh,
the
the
great
shirt
Ron
off,
Diaz.
ready to go.
Yeah, that's right. He's actually going to swim over from Madeira Beach.
You had a question earlier. I don't know if you
I
remember.
couldn't read what you said.
Yeah,
What did you
the
say?
early on investor, you said there was a radio
Oh,
personality.
yeah. Thank you, Galvin. Did Jack Harris have an opportunity to invest in Hooters and turn it down?
You could ask him right now, but he wouldn't know. We Bob says maybe.
Well, I worked with him forever, but I don't know. I don't think you ever talked to him.
So the story was that Jack had a restaurant. He had a couple of different opportunities, and the rumor was that he had an opportunity to get in on Hooters early and passed on it.
There was a lot of discussions there. You did mention one thing about early investors and that. When we did our Brandon store, which is a really successful store, we wanted to finally get investors in, and we couldn't find anybody. But to Jack's point, he was right there at the beginning.
Yeah.
We were on his show, and that
TV show,
everything. Yeah. And so you might have thought he was an investor.
I knew he had the relationship with you guys, and I had heard that story, but I didn't know how true it was. And also, when I lived in Land O'Lakes, and there was that restaurant that was Rapscallions that was on the water over there in Land O'Lakes, and it was awful, but it was the only real nice restaurant, and it's right on a huge lake, and it closed down. And on the marquee, it said Hooters coming soon. And I was so excited. And it turned out it wasn't true. Somebody just put that up there. And for years, I've been waiting for a Hooters that is in my vicinity. And now this Odessa Hooters is over here, and it's got to be killing it. It's got to be crushing it.
And it's a really good store.
It's a great store. We ate there the other day. It's a great store. The people that work there, the girls are great. And it's so funny because I think of going to the original Hooters when I was younger, the girls were like hot models. Now, when I go to the Hooters in Odessa, they're like young kids because one of us got older. So, yeah, it's amazing to me. I go in there with my son now, and they're all checking him out. And I go, how does this? I got totally passed over in this deal.
We have generations now of Hooters girls. Because mothers want to see their daughters get the same experience and have that camaraderie and learn. We had a girl from Iowa who is great, whose sister is at Hooters in Texas, and her brother and cousin work in the one in Iowa, and her mother found out she was pregnant with her as a Hooters waitress on a shift. She went in and her water broke or something. No, that wouldn't happen. No, she'd been long. She'd been a long way. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. The other thing is that we're in Clearwater a lot. We love Pete and Shorty's. Pete and Shorty's came from Iowa.
Yeah. Clarksville, Iowa. Yeah. It's a great, that was a Chinese restaurant for years, and we never went in it. In fact, and we said, someday somebody's going to knock us off right across the parking lot. So we ought to do another concept. and we've had a lot of fun with, Wellesley. That's where Bob and I got the call. He's all scared after when George Steinbrenner wanted to
bring him back.
Yeah, bring him back. And they sat there like on a first date, not talking. And we went over and I thought, are you guys going to bring him back? And he says, we haven't talked about it. And I said, well, geez, he's lost weight. He's married. He won't play in the Metallica. And George says I can't afford him. I says, well, we'll throw in chicken wings. and Christmas Eve, I get a call from Wells. He says, hey, George wants to talk to me again. I said, yeah. He goes, well, what I do? Talk to him.
Yeah.
He wants to meet at Pete Choice. We'll meet. They met at the other table, and George walks in and hands him a contract.
Oh,
right
wow.
now.
That's great stuff. Yeah. There's pictures on the wall in there. You can see it.
Yeah.
Wells had his own parking spot there that said this parking spot's for David Wells, not BL.
Angelo Dundee, wasn't he in there a lot?
Yes, a lot. Yeah. We, those, and that's the thing about our celebrity. When we opened Chicago, that was a whole different deal. We got stalled and they wouldn't give us the permits. So we had 30, 40 girls in. Walter Payton let us have our grand opening. We said, who has our grand opening in somebody else's restaurant?
Right.
But these celebrities are always so kind. It's Dan Marino, you can name them, DeBerg, Brantley, all of them. And Eve Sam Weiss, boy, we had her first Hooters play. Remember that when we designed a play?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And they ran it in Denver preseason. I flew out with Chris Collins with it. It was his first game he's going to broadcast. So we talked about the play all the way out. But these guys have been so supportive. And Wellesley, when after 9/11, we like to think that we help bring the country's mojo back once in a while, through some wars and recessions.
Yeah.
And our store on 9/11, when that happened, they just the workers just came in, the firemen and that just stunned. I mean, literally we fed them and just kind of became the girls kind of kept spirits up. And a month after that, Dan Marino was going to be he was going to be a grand marshal of a parade or something. And I said, hey, Wellesley, why don't you go up? He wasn't with the Blue Jays then. And he says, okay, we'll do it. And they did a signing in our store, Marino and Wells raised $100,000. Well, the next morning, the cops that were guarding them all said, would you go down to ground zero?
Yeah.
And of course, Wellesley oversleeps.
Yeah.
So now we're late. And we say, how are we going to get down there? He says, don't worry about it. They turn the sirens on.
Yeah.
We roar down through Times Square. We pull up, and the cops guarding the place won't let the cops in.
Oh, really?
Cops won't let
cops
in.
Yeah.
And then they look in and says, is that Boomer? Is that Boomer? Boomer, come on in.
Yep.
And the papers all said, hey, Hooters helped get New York their mojo back.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I've been a witness to David Wells' face opening traffic. We went to the MTV Awards. We're in the MTV Awards time. We're in the me, Nina, and Dave are in this big limo, and there's a line of limos, and the guy goes, no. He's like doing no, and he come over to the window and he goes, there's nobody going in there, and he goes, is that David Wells? And he goes, yeah. He goes, open the drove us right in.
We went up. When he was with the Blue Jays and he was coming back to New York for the first time, I think we were in town and we were staying at one of those hotels right down Times Square. And Wellesley says it was a night game, and he says, hey, I'll come over and see you guys before. And so all right, we'll meet you down in the lobby bar, right? And so we're sitting there, and this guy goes, oh, you're going to the game? Yeah. I said, did you know David Wells? He's going to be in town. Boomer's going to be in town. And I look at Lee with me, and I say, this guy's going to have a heart attack. Wellesley walks in a white T-shirt and blue jeans, and the guy just went, that's and then we walked over to the Hooters, and cars were pulling over, cabs were pulling over. Hey, Boomer, welcome back.
That's great. You listen, if you can get that city to love you, you can do anything you want. And that's the truth. I mean, even Derek Jeter went through his ups and downs, but if you can get New York City to love you, you can do anything. Hooters 40th anniversary, and I guarantee you how many people are listening to this just getting hungry and going to Hooters from here. It happens to us. We talk about it, next thing you know, we're going to lunch.
And I got talking points.
Go ahead. Yeah.
That there's a calendar signings too.
Calendar signings. Now people are still buying calendars.
Oh gosh, we're probably America's last pinup calendar.
That's what I'm saying.
And still they're, because they're collector items. Right. Those girls have gone over to Gulf War, and done the tours and everything. And there's so much culture to it. And the girls get so excited about making it. And
do you know that's my thing? Like, I'm kind of glad that I'm not famous enough to where they've asked me to go to a war zone, But I would if they did. And I thought about, I wanted to do like a Bob Hope type thing where I bring Hooters girls and some comedians in a band and we just go on a tour. I could host that for sure.
There's a great video that they did on one of them, but that was the one of them was, I think, the Iraq or whatever, but whatever it was, they were in 107, 108 degrees, you know,
it's brutal.
And no alcohol for the whole 2 weeks you're there.
Wow.
That's why I didn't go. But they're going to be at the original tonight. You know,
Okay.
The calendar goes at 5:30, and then you're going to be up by you on Thursday at Odessa, and then Friday. They're going to be in Odessa around at 5:30, and they're going to be at North Tampa at 7 to 8, and then they're going to be at Brandon on Friday at 12:30.
Now, I'm sure you can go find this stuff online too and see. Will Lynn, I'm sure, will be at the thing on Saturday.
Yeah.
Is she doing anything? Is she going to be?
I don't know. We just do what we're told.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just going to be a lot of things going on. In fact, there's an interesting thing we did around the calendar this year. That's a first, that to honor the Hooters girls, we had a painting commission by this what's his name, Perez. Wait a minute.
Painter?
Oh, this guy.
Oh, there you go.
Fabian Perez.
Okay.
He paints women. That's really a famous international painter. He's done the Pope. He's done Al Pacino. He's done all those people. And we commissioned him to paint a Hooters girl. And we'll be unveiling that at the concert.
Oh, great.
And so that's going to be kind of a big deal for us to just kind of take it up a notch, you know. But
good.
So that and she's on the cover of the calendar there.
Oh, the girl that he painted.
Painted.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Girl named Eden. What's I know it.
Let me see her picture again.
The painting.
Eden Holy Hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she's really cool. She's from Texas.
I mean, is his painting as cool as my painting?
Oh my
Isn't
God.
that beautiful? What?
I like your entry area. We got to send you some paraphernalia for that.
I will gladly did you see what I have out there on the wall is a Ron and Ron signed cast photo that a listener gave me. It's a poster that they had that they signed, and everybody's on there. I love that. It is a pleasure to have you gentlemen here. This is Bob Password and Ed Drosty from Hooters. Congratulations on 40 years of amazing success, and not just with the restaurant business, but just in pop culture altogether. I mean, what you guys have created is going to live on forever. And is there another phase? Is there something else you guys, I mean, once you get the store and then you put it in other countries, I mean, what could be next?
Well, you know, I never say never.
Yeah.
You know, but it is kind of funny though, because we had an airline, you know, but it never, thank goodness, it was fun and it did well, but the fuel prices took it down, but it never crashed. That was good.
That's a good goal when you have an airline.
And I also don't think you'll ever see a Hooters hospital. I just don't think I would check in the hospital.
I mean, you guys do enough where you could say, hey, they have but I don't feel confident going to a Hooters hospital.
No,
yeah.
I don't think so.
Sometimes I feel like I have to go to the hospital.
Hey, I turned 80. I turned 81 this month. I want them to open up in the villages.
Yeah. Oh, I bet
I think we're talking to him.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. But Eden Davis, that's her name.
Eden Davis.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I look forward to now with the original, not the original, but the alumni girls are in town.
Yeah,
a bunch of them.
A lot of them have come in from all over. All of Bob's girlfriends have come in from all over.
I understand.
Yeah.
Well, look, good luck, Bob. Reunited 81. It's got to be tough. I'm looking forward to being out there on Saturday and being a part of the celebration. And I think just to be a part of it, I'm going to go eat at Hooters today just because I've talked about it so much. I'm starving. Back in the day, we used to be like, yeah, send wings over. Now we're like, send the two old guys over. We'll talk to them.
Well, you've been great to us all these years too. It's it's a great.
Proud to be associated.
Great.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to take a break. We'll let these guys take off, and then we'll be back with a brand new open letter from Galvin. It's the Mike Calta Show. This is 102.5 The Bone.
You're listening to the Mike.
With the phone numbers. It was good having those guys in here. I hope that it was entertaining to other people. I was very interested in about the beginning, the origin.
Oh yeah, it's very interesting.
Well,
yeah, I mean,
good.
think about how many times do you get an opportunity to talk to somebody who started one of the biggest things? I mean, whether it's a restaurant or this, whatever. I mean, that's a huge iconic thing in America and worldwide.
It's interesting. I always say this, and I mean it. I remember the first time I brought it up on the air with Slash. I said to Slash, "Do you ever realize that long after you're dead, the idea of your hair and your hat and that guitar, that Les Paul, will live on forever?"
Yeah.
I go, it's so iconic that my grandchildren will see that, know that that's Slash.
So iconic that they could just have a silhouette of it. You know that's Slash.
Yeah. And he was like, "No, I never actually thought about that." And I think to me, that's more of a sign of success than money. If you've made a great impact on it. So these Hooters guys, they opened up this restaurant that was what they wanted, a neighborhood hangout bar that was kind of beachy with girls and good food. And next thing you know, they have this iconic thing that's going to live on forever. Even if one day, 50 years from now, it's in jokes. Hey, remember Hooters? Haha, it's still Hooters. Still doing it
For sure.
And all the things that they went through with the wing house and the men being wanting to be waiters and all that stuff, like just getting through all that stuff and turning them all into positives. It's so brilliant.
I also remember whenever it first started and they were like, oh, and they wear shorts and it's girls and this, that, and you're like, yeah, okay, big deal.
I think the key on that thing was exactly what I said. As hot as those girls were, they always made you feel like, not that that you had a chance, but that they didn't talk down to you.
Yeah.
You usually are being used to being treated by super hot girls like you're a piece of trash. And these girls would sit down at the table, they would BS with you. They were your buddy, and you were like your hot buddy that you secretly want to bang, but you never can. So
for the longest time, I've wanted more than anything to have one of the Hooters cards.
I will get you one of those Hooters cards.
Like literally, that I've been in this town on the radio for 15 years, and I saw some of the people that had one of those.
Right.
And I thought, man, if I can get one of those, I feel like I've made it.
So
Greg has one actually.
Who?
Greg.
Oh no.
On the mic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg on the mic has one.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Come on.
They don't mean as much as they used to, I guess.
Clearly.
You still want one?
If he's got one, I'm out.
I have a feeling we'll have to pry it out of your cold dead hands if you get one.
But back in the day, that was like a big deal.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Hold on one moment. Check this out. It was a learning experience for all of us. So my son has a flat tire on his Tesla. So my brother told me you just hit the app and you could do it through there. Well, great news. The mobile tire team is available and ready to support it. Technicians expected to arrive between now will be provided. The technician will contact you. Have a great day. Your concern is, oh, okay, cool. I thought it said if your concern is closed, I thought they were going to tell me it's not happening anymore. But no, they're
and so
already on
you
the
just
way.
put in the tire type and then the technician comes out with the tire and does all the stuff.
I didn't even have to put in I just hit the button and I said I needed roadside assistance, flat tire. Said it was in my driveway, and they said, okay, we'll come out there and we'll change it for this amount, or it was $135 to fix it and $400 if I need a new tire. And they keep them in the van, so they just swap it out right there. If you don't have them do it, they give you some sort of tools that you need to do it. Please don't get mad at me, real men listening to the show. I've never changed my own tire. I should have flat tire. And I was like, I could do this. And I jacked the car up, took the tire off, put the tire down, and was getting ready to put the new tire on, and the car fell off the jack while my leg was under the car. But because I had put the tire over there, it landed on the tire.
Oof.
And I would have had a crushed leg for sure.
Never would have been able to play. Oh, never mind.
Yeah. Never would have been able to kick you in the face. New oil in, but I don't know all the filter and all that stuff. I don't have those man capabilities.
Well, and you didn't necessarily grow up. My brother Tim is very good with that.
Tom Calta, my dad, was never $5 and go see Johnny Al down at the thing.
Yeah, they're real men like that.
Rotor converter.
Oh, you want to watch the rotor converter?
I'll check your post.
Yeah.
When I used to have a Grand Am, it was my first car. It was my cousin Rosemary's, and she sold it to me when she was done with it. And I didn't know how to do anything, and it slowly just broke down over time. And there was a girl that I worked with, her boyfriend was one of those guys. And he's like, "Oh man, that's just your fuel filter." And I go, "Okay." And he goes, "You just got to change the fuel filter and blah, blah." And I remember one time he had to put a tube into the gas tank and suck it out to get it going. And he actually sucked it out till gas got in his mouth, and he spit it out and he kept going. And I went, I will never be that guy.
I told you when I was a kid, my mom had something with her car, and the mechanic came to our house and did that. And he goes, "Do you have a peach or a plum or apple or something?" I go, "Yeah." And I went in and I got him a plum. And he goes, "All right," and stuck a tube in the gas tank and sucked until gas came out, spit it out, and then ate the plum. to like clean up. Yeah, I was like, is that like a normal thing?
Yeah.
I had a roommate of mine though. I remember my car died, and I was like, I don't know, one got a new battery because I tried to jump, it wouldn't jump. So all right, battery's dead. Got a new battery and then drove it, but then the battery died, so it was the alternator. I was like, I gotta find something. He goes, oh, I can change an alternator. And I go, you can?
Hey, that's
It was like,
magic.
yeah, he was like, yeah. He goes, you just give me the money, I'll go and get one, and and he did it and changed it and it worked. And I was like, that's pretty impressive.
What's more interesting is I've never had an interest in learning how to do that stuff. Like cars never turned me on. I never wanted to have a hot rod. I never wanted to do anything.
My son is like really into that right now, trying to like learn also. I'm like, dude, learn everything. I go, learn how to fix all that stuff.
So my son, when he was in high school, got into mechanical engineering and did very well with it, and then never pursued it more. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
you really should do that stuff. You
he's
can
still
make
got time too. He's still young.
I was like, you can make a lot of money doing that.
Yeah, well,
I don't want to do any of that. I'm
No.
I had to change the battery, and I was so proud of myself that I was able to take the battery out, and I got mocked because it was like literally 2 bolts. I'd pull it out. I'm like, look what I did.
I know, but when you do it for the first time, you're like, I have made fire.
Damn right.
Yeah.
I had to jump a battery, and I put the things on wrong because there's no metal anymore in the cars. So you're supposed to ground it and stuff. And I like grounded just like a plastic part, whatever. And I had the cheapest jumper cables, whatever. And they just started melting. It was literally melting and on fire. And I'm just, my wife has never been more disappointed in me. It was hilarious.
That's so funny. All right, we still got a lot of things to do left on this show. It's late as it has been usually, but now I bring to you a brand new open letter from Galvin.
Now, an open letter from Galvin. This is an open letter to people with bad hygiene. Dear people with bad hygiene, seriously, what is going on in your life that you can't use some mouthwash or spray on some deodorant or, I don't know, wash your face? Is there anything worse than someone that smells? I don't think there is, but I can tell you something that's worse than a guy that smells, a girl that smells. And I'm not even talking about that area, although we'll get to that. I'm talking about overall stinky. If you're a girl and you smell, there are a lot of other things going wrong in your life. A girl can go from a 5 to a 7 just by smelling good or having nice, clean hair. I mean, I'm sure the same goes for guys, but for some reason, a smelly girl is way worse. Smelly girl, why are you so smelly? Clean it up. And that goes for everyone. If you're over 18 years old, cut your goddamn nails, brush your teeth, wash your feet.
Yeah.
If you see a 40-year-old with dirty fingernails, and I'm not talking about a mechanic or some man that works with his hands, I'm talking about just dirty dirt under their fingernails. Yuck. Now, if you have bad breath once in a while, that's understandable. It happens to everyone. But if you're walking around as an adult constantly with food in your teeth or rotten teeth in your head, what is going on in your life? What are your priorities? Greasy hair, bad skin, smelly butt, BO, dirty clothes. All of those problems can be solved with a shower. Even your clothes, just wear them in the shower. If you have bad hygiene, how do you expect to make any relationships? Nobody wants to be friends with Stinky Steve or Smelly Susan, and no one is ever having sex with you. If you smell bad in clothes or have dirty parts of your body, just imagine what's happening under those clothes. Let's just say it's not going to be all sunshine and roses. Good luck with all that. If you can't even clean yourself, do the rest of the society a favor. Work from home, order your food online, or just get in bed, set a fire, and let nature take its smelly course. I'm Galvin from the Mike Calta Show, and this has been an open letter to people with bad hygiene.
What is the smelliest part of your body?
Smelliest part of my body?
Yeah.
I don't know. I got to be honest with you. I don't think there is a smelly part. Maybe.
Not all the time. Like not like if I was to walk up to you now, but I mean like if it's been like a day and you haven't taken a shower yet.
Maybe behind my ears.
Behind your ears gets smelly quickly.
But like I'm constantly cleaning everything. I wash my feet a lot because I think that has a lot to do with your overall health. And plus, when I'm out and running and I get dirty, my socks and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I make sure I wash my feet. I clean all my areas. I have wet wipes, little wet wipes.
Wet wipes,
doing that stuff, whatever. I always make sure that I have deodorant and I smell good there, down there, all that stuff.
I would say ears definitely. You can take a shower and 6 hours later, if your ears get sweaty, they stink.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to touch it. It's not like you could smell my ears from standing next to me. But I do get first, I think, crotch smell, like between your nuts and your leg, because that sweaty area gets in there. But I've been reading a lot about it because they sell like that Sasquatch stuff and the soap,
Lumi.
and the ball, one ball thing.
Those fresh balls.
Yeah, and I'm like, is that legit? Like, is that good? Like, don't get me wrong, I never went, is that my balls? I'm just saying I like to go the extra step, like you're saying. And it's because they say that when you get out of the shower, you don't dry there enough, and that the moisture creates bacteria,
right?
And that's what stinks. So I bought this machine. It is I don't know how, it looks like a home plate, and you stand on it. When you stand on it, activates the fan that blows up from the bottom. Dude, ever since I got that thing, it's great. Everything's dry. Why are you laughing at me? I got dry balls.
You're on Amazon way too much, dude.
That's a touch of modern. That's a touch of modern thing.
Like you just on Amazon because you're bored. You're buying like portable ball dryers.
I just want.
You just use a hair dryer. Kick a leg. I'm not gonna get a hair dryer.
This is made to dry your balls. I get out and it has a remote control, and you can turn the temperature up. So when in the winter, when you get out, it blows warm air.
All right.
I mean,
but like, think about that seriously. Like a girl that's a 5 that smells good or has nice hair that smells good or something, whatever, that kicks her up like 2 points.
Oh, for sure.
That's one good thing about my wife. She always smells good.
Yeah.
Not just because her ridiculously expensive perfume, but her hair always smells good, and her lotion smells good, like on her arms and stuff. She always smells good. This is one of, I know you're going to say this is creepy, but just let me finish saying it before you call me a creep. The best is when I'm on a plane and I'm sitting there in the aisle and girls walk by and they smell good. I'm not smelling them as they walk by, but when a hot girl walks by and you just go, I inhale, I just take a deep inhale.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's disappointing, and sometimes you expect, like, I bet that girl smells great. She walks by and you're like, nothing. They got nothing.
I sat next to him and he smelled me.
Yeah.
And I moved my seat. Is that possible?
Your Honor, I'd like to point out there's nothing in the law book says you can't smell somebody.
Like she's just coming down the aisle, and you're gonna time it just right.
Yeah. Oh, I wait. I'll show you where it is. Look at this. Look, I'm showing you on the camera. They walk, and they get just past me, and I go,
Great. But I'm sure girls say the same thing. Like guys, they don't want smelly guys or guys with stuff in their teeth or greasy hair.
You can see a chick that's like a 10, and then you catch a whiff and she smells horrible. Like it instantly takes you down.
Rarely does that happen though.
Yeah.
10s usually are 10s for a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
10s, as I get older, 10s really knock themselves down when they start talking, like the way they act.
Oh yeah.
There's more like, back in the day, you could be a 10, you could be a jerk off. I don't care. You're so hot, but now I have seen the girl. There's a couple of girls in 90 Day Fiance. There's one that is older. She's like in her 40s, and she's so hot, like she's news anchor hot, but she's such a moron. And I don't just mean dumb, but just like some of the dumb things she says that she's not. I look at her now, I don't even think she's hot anymore. It's gross. There's a guy on there though. Woo, he's hot.
No.
This guy, Galvin, I got to try and get some audio from this guy. He is, I don't even know what his nationality is, but he maybe like Greek or Turkish or something like that. But he's built. He's a trainer, and he's built, and he's got nice eyes, and he's got this smoking hot girl that he met, an American girl, but they're having a lot of problems because he knows that he's good looking, and he's like, before girlfriend, I have sex 2, 3, 4 times a day, different women, but he's not trying to be funny. And he's just so funny. I gotta find out his name, but it's making me watch the show again.
Oh yeah,
because he's like, I get up in the morning, I train 2 girls, have sex 2 girls, train 2 more girls. It's a good day, He's so funny, man. And they're just now all the drama starting. So
probably smells fantastic.
He probably smells great. This season has been really good because there's nobody like really disgusting on it. And there was one guy who got catfished by a guy that he thought it was a girl.
Oh.
There's another guy who thinks that his girl is being who's cheating on him. Then there's a guy who's dating a trans girl, and
does he know?
He knows.
Oh, okay.
And then he's hitting on other girls while he's out at the bar. So he was at a bar, and the cameras are following around. He's talking to this girl. He's like, "Oh, you're American?" She's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Hey, American." Blah blah blah. And the next day was Thanksgiving. He goes, why don't you come over? We're having a Thanksgiving party. And so they have the recap show at the end, and they're talking to like, you invited her to your girlfriend. He goes, yeah. He goes, I saw another American that I know is not going to get Thanksgiving because they're in another country, and I invited her. He goes, I'm just that kind of guy. I put my energy out there.
Yeah.
And they were like, and now please welcome the girl. They brought the girl. And they were like, were you getting the vibe? She goes, oh, he was totally hitting on me. Oh, I love those stupid shows, man.
That's hilarious.
I can't watch my 6,000-pound wife, but I like all the other shows.
No, but also they used to have, you said most of them are attractive on there, but they had like, remember the black guy, whatever his name was, that was marrying the fat white gorilla lady.
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
my God.
The
She was
Nigerian guy, right?
Yeah, Nigerian dude.
That was
and she would yell at him all the time. Michael, I think his name
Michael.
was.
Yeah, she's still on. She's great because she's fun to watch. Michael, but now there's worse. There's Osama.
No.
There's a guy on there, and there's a woman who is just horrendous looking, and she's like, oh, you told me we were gonna be lovers, and it's awful. It's awful to think that these poor women are so delusional.
There was the Samoan couple.
They're still fighting.
That guy might be the dumbest guy I've ever seen anywhere.
He hooked up with another girl.
Oh no.
And got a BJ.
Oh no.
So she hooked up with another guy, and now he can't get over it. And he's crying all the time. Oh, it's so awesome.
I think there may be a little something going on there.
Break. Before we go to break, I want to remind you that my friend Will and the folks at Shark Coast Tactical, they're going to be having Mossberg Day. That is going to be happening on Saturday inside the Shark Coast Tactical store. They got all the giveaways, crazy deals on firearms, the fastest cycling 12-gauge shotgun on the market, the JM Pro. All the guys from Mossberg will be in the shop to answer your questions, and you know they always cut great deals when Mossberg is there, or any of the gun manufacturers are there in the store. If you're thinking about getting a gun for home protection, a shotgun is where you should start. Don't try to be all Wyatt Earp and have handguns and pistols and all that stuff. If you just want home protection, a shotgun is the way to go. And Mossberg makes so many different kinds, the short ones, the long ones, the pistol grips, the regular grips, all designed to protect you and your family. And then you can get in there on Saturday for Mossberg Day at Shark Coast Tactical. And don't forget, the guys are out on the road, and they're going out to the gun shows now. They haven't done this for years, so they're going to be able to go to the gun shows. So if you go to one of the gun shows near you, like in Fort Myers, or even here in Tampa, Lakeland, they're going to be happening all across the area, and now you'll get to see the Shark Coast guys at the gun shows as well. So if you can't make it out there, wait till they come to you. And don't forget, Glockoween is right around the corner. It is Mossberg Day on Saturday at Shark Coast Tactical. Find them online at sharkcoasttactical.com, or get in there and see them in the store on Bee Ridge Road in Sarasota. We've got to take a break. It's the Mike Calta Show. This is 102.5 The Bone. It's 102.5 The Bone. If you're looking to buy a home, you want to get your dream home, there's a guy and a team that can help you out. That is my friend Jeff Borum and his team at eXp Realty. You can go to their website like I am right now at Team Borum, BORHAM, teamborum.com, and you'll see right there at the top of the page in orange, how much is your home really worth? Find out for free. And then what you do is you put your address in there, and they give you a real price of what your home would go for. They give you the options, a little bit on the low end, a little bit on the high end, but the average right there in the middle, and they can make you a cash offer for your home. So if you're ready to make that move and find the home of your dreams, but it includes selling your home, let Jeff and his team at eXp Realty do the whole thing. They could find you the home. They could sell your home. You don't have to worry about doing one before the other. They know it all. And when it comes to I don't know how to do any of this stuff. They're constantly changing the laws and the rules and what kind of loans you need and what's a good one, what's an adjustable rate. No, I don't know any of that stuff. I don't want to. That's why Team Borum is here to help you out. They take all the stress out of buying a home, all the stress out of selling a home, and all the stress out of the stressful situations like you bought one, but you didn't sell the other one yet. They do it all for you, and they do it better than anyone else. Jeff right here lives in the Tampa Bay area. A lot of these real estate people don't even live here in the state, and they're claiming to know about Tampa Bay. Jeff is a guy, is local. He'll help you out. You can call his office and talk to him if you need to. It is Team Borum, BORHAM, teamborum.com. If you're thinking about selling your home, just go to the website and for free, put your address in and find out what your home is worth. See if it's more or less than you thought it was. And then if you need some information or some help on that, call Jeff and his team and let them help you. Teamborum.com. Well, that's it for the show.
No,
Just kidding. I'm going to
okay.
take
See you
some phone
later.
calls. 727-579-1025. Mike Calta Show, good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, lower your radio, please.
Morning.
How can we help you?
Yeah, my name's Ernie. I wanted to give you a heads up on a good Italian place to get sandwiches.
All right. What's the heads up? I always love a good sandwich, especially an Italian place. What area are you talking about, sir? What city?
Riverview, right off the 301. It's called Frankie's Italian Deli. Great chicken cutlet, meatballs, and fresh deli.
It must be great
Salads.
because another person told me about it as well. So Frankie's Italian Deli in Riverview off of 301.
Is this Frankie?
No,
Yes,
there's
sir.
oh,
Go.
I'm a good friend of Frankie's from New York,
all right. I will. What part of New York are you from, sir?
Staten Island.
Shut up. Come on now.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to high school?
Yeah.
I moved out of there a long time ago. I was about 2 years old when I moved out of there.
Where, oh, you didn't go to school there. Okay. All right. Well, hey.
Nah.
Stolen valor.
All right. I appreciate the heads up, buddy. Thank you.
Sound like he has a
You
little,
got it.
little gabagool in his mouth.
Yeah. He's got the Italian fat neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They thought he had a gun. He had a sandwich instead. They shot him. No? No Godfather reference?
Let it die.
Die.
When's Spanish coming back?
By the way, I'm looking at Frankie's. So they say they have Frankie's Italian Deli, and then they have Uncle Louis G. I guess makes pastries and stuff. And they have some good looking pastries in there too.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something.
Oh,
Mama from Felice's, that is, yeah,
that was good, right? That was good.
Mama from Felice's was the Italian grandmother you want cooking your food. You know what I mean? If you
Right.
miss your Italian grandmother, or if you never had one and you want to eat that, that was the best place to go. But when it comes to pastries, a guy makes the best pastry. You get an old Italian guy making your pastries, he's been making generations, been making them. If a guy is still making stuffing cannolis with cream and doing all that stuff, trust me when I tell you, a guy making pastries is good stuff.
Not always, because you know who else makes pastries? We know
Well,
Spanish.
what do you mean?
He makes
Yeah,
his own pastries.
But he does it for himself.
yeah,
He's
but
talking about an actual store.
He's making
Because
his
he
own
put
donuts.
peanut butter between two
That's
crackers
not
and made a pastry.
He's made some apple turnover garbage.
He didn't make anything. He's buying those in public.
All right.
No, he is. He's making stuff at home.
I know he tried to make donuts, but they look
Right.
terrible.
Yeah.
They look gross like his back does.
No.
Oh.
Does he still work here?
I think so.
Joe, did you
I don't know
look
why
at the dog?
I did. I went home. I handed him a dog. He said, "Look, man, I'm really sorry because
He knew he was mean.
He knew he's mean, and he's like, I'm sorry." I said, "Look, I wasn't mad. I just understood that you're probably all doped up on weird pills." and
Yeah.
stuff, so,
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I meant to send like a funny picture with the kid. Does the dog just live in there now?" And
Right.
instead, I just
He still doesn't answer the phone though when you call him. Yeah. You would
He's in
think
a lot of pain,
you would think that that's what he'd be doing since he's just home doing nothing.
a lot of
It's cool.
pustules. And,
Mike Calta Show, good morning. Oops, sorry, I hit the wrong one. Mike Calta Show, good morning.
Hey, Mike, how you doing? This is Santo. How you doing?
Good, buddy. What's happening?
Hey, man, I just wanted to say thanks for that interview. It was fantastic. Those guys were such a big part of our life as a kid. We were there the first day when it opened, and my dad had one of the first 5 half-price cards.
Oh, really?
And, oh, my God. We lived on those things, man, for years and years. And Hooters swag, anytime Ed got new or Bob got new shirts, he would literally give my dad boxes of shirts.
Yeah.
And we were, in middle school, 12, 13 years old with Hooters. Everything we owned had Hooters on.
Oh yeah, if you're a kid, you get your first Hooters shirt, and then when you have one from Clearwater, then you need one from Lakeland. You need it from I get it. Well, I love those guys. It was great to have them on, man. I appreciate the call.
Yeah, man, they were fantastic.
Thanks, buddy. All right, cool.
Yeah, growing up in this area was such a big part of Tampa Bay.
It was a treat.
Yeah.
To go to Hooters.
Yeah.
You know? Mike Calta Show. Good morning.
Morning, guys. Hey, I actually won some tickets to the Outlaw Music Fest, and I was just wondering, how does that go? Do I get the tickets at the gate whenever I go, or?
They could send you an email.
Yeah.
Or you could always call promotions. If you
the number is 727-579-2000. Just call promotions. They'll be able to help you out. Mike Calta Show. Good morning.
Morning, Mike. Galvin, how you guys doing?
Good. What's up, buddy?
Good, man. Just want to say I love Dizzy, the added
added addition to the show for this week. It's running very smoothly.
Right?
Not sure if you really care, but
no, I do.
I
think Dizzy's great. If I had to get rid of Carmen or Spanish to make room for Dizzy, who would you get rid of?
Carmen.
Took him a second. He really thought about it.
I mean, at this point,
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because it's funny you say that, because that's actually why I called. Where I love when you say who would you fire and keep this or whatever. Like last week when you were doing the what was it?
Egos, big egos.
I mean that was the best. I mean, they were talking about it for days. But I was going to ask you, if you got paid $200,000 more a year, but you had to get rid of everybody on the show except Galvin, would you do it? They couldn't go to any other shows.
In a second. I already answered you. Yeah. A second.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you.
Oh, no. I get to keep Galvin, but I got to get rid of everybody else.
Yeah.
But for $200,000.
$200,000 a year more.
Yeah. I'm in. I'll take it.
All right.
I'll take it. I'd get that Ferrari for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, sir.
Still gonna need somebody for the trash, Michael.
Thank you, pal. Joe, you'd still work.
All right.
Yeah, I got an extra $200,000. I'd pay you out of my pocket.
Yeah, you work here, you just don't work here.
Right. He doesn't now.
I'm sorry, Joe. You'd still be here.
Okay,
You'd still be here.
That's what I was looking for.
You'd still be here. Carmen would be out. Spanish would be out. I'd probably keep Gio around too. Because I'd pay out of my $200,000.
Yeah.
But no. I would fire everybody in a second, sir. I have no morals whatsoever. Mike Calta show. Good morning.
Yellow
to you, sir.
Hello.
Fire Spanish, keep Carmen, keep it just like it is.
All right, thank you. Mike Calta show, though.
Yes, Joe Belladonna's brother, Medicine Man.
What? This
This is Joey Belladonna's brother, Medicine Man.
Oh, we said we look like Joey Belladonna. Yeah. Sorry, you're
Call back to Galvin's joke.
not allowed to be on the show. Mike Calta show, though.
4 hours ago.
Oh no, trust me, he called me before then.
Yeah.
Hello, Mike Calta show. Good morning.
Hey, Mike and the crew, how you doing?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm all right. You were mentioning, and it brought up some memories for me. I used to be an executive chef at a large retirement home community, independent living, and I had a baker named Roberto, and he was half Argentinian and half Italian.
And that's the guy who makes the good pastries.
That man could make anything that you wanted. I don't care what it was on the planet. If you wanted a calzone, he'd make calzone dough. If you wanted a cannoli, he'd make homemade croissants. He would do anything. He was the best. I mean, he was probably my favorite pastry chef that I ever had the experience to work with.
Guys make the best pastries. Guys are the best bakers. I'm telling you. I hope you guys get reunited because it sounds like you really like them a lot. Mike Calta show. Good morning.
Hello, Michael. How's it going?
Hey, my friend the Jew. How are you?
I'm doing real good. Hey, listen, I know you've been craving for it. I'm going to LA at the end of the month for 5 days. I got an Airbnb overlooking the Hollywood Hills. And then for 2 days, I'm going to go to this place called Las Vegas. During the cyber attack, I looked up hotel rates and I got me a king suite at the Venetian for like a couple of $100 for 2 nights.
Wow.
So like, I invite you guys to go out there. You got a place to stay. You do a broadcast. It's tax write-off, business trip.
Always thinking.
I got to tell you, the Jew is one of the guys I'd hang out with in Vegas. Like he'd probably be a lot of fun to hang out with.
Of all the harebrained ideas you have of we're going here, we're going there, Vegas, I'm in.
Yeah.
Vegas, I'm in.
All right. Well, listen.
I'm telling you, it's a good opportunity to think about. I'm also going to go to see that show you've been talking about, you too. I mean, why not? For 2 days, it's going to be hell. It's going to be an awesome time.
Yeah, live it up, man. Have a great time. Good hearing from you, buddy.
All right, take care.
See you, pal.
I'll see if Bono wants to come on the show.
I thought he was going to bring some whatchamacallit, red lobster.
The Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Please don't. Please don't, because I'll eat the whole goddamn tray of it. Let me grab a couple more and then we're done. Mike Calta Show, good morning. Hello. All right. Last one. Mike Calta Show, hello.
Speak of the devil.
Oh. I mean, we'll block you.
Come on.
I don't want to.
It's ridiculous.
Listen, call your friend George whenever you want to talk to somebody.
He's injured though. Like he needs medical attention.
I'm no longer that guy that cares about him because
do fart noises on that guy's blog.
Yeah.
He needs medical help. He needs legal help.
He needs a lot of help.
Who that's gonna have to step up?
What's that?
Who that's gonna have to step up?
Who dat? Joe dat. All right. Well, listen to me. Tomorrow is Thursday, and we probably will have no Spanish tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
I'm asking you, Joe, like you know medically.
I have no idea.
Last I heard, he was getting into the doctors on Thursday, correct?
So
that's tomorrow.
Yeah, he's going to the doctor, so he probably won't be coming in. But I saw his skin last night. It offended me.
Yeah.
Getting worse.
Yeah.
He sent me a picture of it, and it did not look good.
Yeah, it
What
was.
does it look like?
It actually looks like.
Like Deadpool?
No.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it just looks like he was attacked by a lot of bees, but they stung him very.
He looks like a
lightly.
red dragon.
Yeah, it's just like it's weird. It's just like there's bumps, red weird welts all
He
over.
told me he did not. They don't know if it's contagious or not. And you're over there rubbing on him and stuff.
It's not contagious.
Hey, Disney,
Thank you, Dr. Joe.
Yeah. Dr. Weed Hat.
Listen.
I just sent it a picture of you, Dizzy, but don't post it anywhere,
Yeah.
okay?
Oh, okay.
All right, I just sent
Oh, this is gonna post it, right?
No.
He's hanging all over the station, printed out.
It's like when he said he knows where Scotty's going.
Couple of things. Couple of things. Check us out on Instagram at the Mike Calta Show. If you haven't seen my high school pictures, you're gonna love them, especially for a Throwback Thursday.
I'm surprised you got a receding hairline on the football team.
Yeah, well, I cut it from my sophomore year to my junior year.
I get it.
When I was sweater vest Mike Calta, I had the curls in the front.
Full
And I
hair.
cut it down. Yeah. Then also, caltastore.com is open for business. Caltastore.com. If you want to get pink Mike Calta Show t-shirts for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, that is where you need to go. Caltastore.com. Anything else or something else? Thank you to Ed Drosty and Bob Passworders from Hooters for coming by. Saturday night is a big celebration of their 40th anniversary at the Sound in Clearwater. Raising money for Moffat. I can't wait to see the Moffat guys on stage. I don't hate people who start bands when they do something else. I actually am quite a fan of it. What else? Thank you to Galvin for the open letter. We'll do their open letter rewind tomorrow morning.
Got it.
Jamie Kennedy is in town tomorrow for one night. I text him to see if he wanted to come on the show, but I don't know when he gets here. So maybe Jamie Kennedy would be here.
AKA Sadly Cooper.
Sadly Cooper. And then Friday on the show, you know we got going on Friday.
What do we have Friday?
I don't know. Let me look.
Tell
Oh,
me.
Tim Meadows will be here.
Oh,
Saturday night.
nice.
Tim Meadows will be here. David Wells has his golf tournament. Saturday is the Hooters celebration.
Tim
Whole
Meadows
weekend
is
ahead.
funny, man.
Tim Meadows is great.
We'll also have football picks.
Yeah.
We'll do that tomorrow. Yeah. Martine will be here. And I'm going to have Ian send me his picks so I can just pick off of them like
All right.
Spanish does.
We'll have to tell Spanish to put his picks in too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carmen as well.
Oh yeah.
Carmen did, I believe.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think-
she did say she was going to.
Yeah.
And we do have them. She
Yeah.
sent them to us for week 5.
Oh yeah.
All right, you guys have a great day. Check out our Instagram at the Mike Calta Show, and we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Dizzy, thank you. Great job.
Thank you, bro.
All right, see you guys. Tell Mo he's dead to me. Goodbye.